done. Ah, right. Hi, Jimmy Sue, Jimmy 5000. Okay, so according to YouTube, I should be live. I'll know when people pop up, and I'll know when, if you do see me on YouTube, say hello in the chat box up there, so I'll know people are on. I can't see any viewers just yet, but it should be going okay. Hi, Shez. Like I say, I'm doing... I know, modern technology, right? I've bitten off more than I can chew. Am I going to sing? Do you know what? I used to be good at singing, but, you know, I don't sing anything you're going to like anyway. You know, Robbie Williams numbers, and Kool and the Gang, and what else did I used to do? I used to do rap numbers and stuff. Celebration, Kool and the Gang. Those are my go-tos. Bit of George Michael, Elton John, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Used to do that. But no, my my throat is knackered probably from having COVID twice. And I don't even know if it's going to get any better because I'm just getting old. Right, so I can see 2 viewers on YouTube. I know, exactly. So why do you want me to sing? Unfortunately, if you're watching me on Instagram, you're not going to be able to see any pictures that I put up. So while we're down to 1 viewer on YouTube now, so I don't know who that is. Let me know who's on Instagram. I'm going to pop another picture up. And let me know if you see that. There is a chat box in YouTube next to the window, live chat, so you should be able to say hello. There's a little bit of a 10-second sort of latency thing when I drag things up. It takes a while to pop up. You've more on Insta. More what on Insta? More people? No, I've only got 3 people watching. When I was on YouTube on Christmas Day, I had 8 people watching. It was great. Anyway, I've got 1 viewer on YouTube, so someone's watching. It might be Andy, who's been watching for a while. It might even be Alistair. But let's put one of my old songs on, shall we? It's a nice laid back one from about 95. Haha, perfect timing, Rich. Mr. Vibes in the house. This oldie.
Here we go. Come follow me. I'm
about a troll, Mr. Mitchy Vibe B.
Now I have control. Let me unwind your mind and put you in a state of being.
He's gonna run away in a minute. He's like, oh no.
God on this laid back trip. Baby, don't you fear, cause you won't slip.
You're in safe hands. I'm the one who understands your trials and tribulations, problems and aggravations. Getting you down, leaving a frown, life ain't what it should be. But here comes Milky
with the mellow
remedy.
So tune into my frequency, which is at large.
Boosh.
My soothing speech.
In your breath. In your breath.
Recline, baby, take your time. Don't worry, honey, everything will be fine. What you need to do is to open your mind.
I tell you, Rich,
Relax.
we should have done that. Moonshine, baby, take your time. Country and western version with banjos.
What you need to
That'd have been a bigger hit in the States. All the rednecks.
relax.
Well, it's about that time.
What time?
Time to recline and forget the troubles
So,
on your mind. As the rhyme
like I
flows,
said,
just walking up
2 people watching on Instagram. My YouTube channel is now live.
Now this one goes out to
I've got 2 people
out
watching there.
Our lives are full of stress.
So,
And fellas, your girl can be a strain to the brain. And girls, your
we
man
should
can
get
drive
on with
you
it, really. There's
insane.
only
They
2
wanna
people
fight,
watching, but I'm going to
fight,
leave this up
every
live
night.
anyway.
They're never
I don't
in
want to
the
bore the
wrong,
people
no matter
watching this
what.
on catch
You're
up.
never in the right. But don't get upset because you're getting stressed daily. Say, baby, relax now. Recline time.
This is me singing, Shez.
Recline, baby, take your time. Don't worry, honey, everything will be fine. What you need to do is to open your mind. Kick back, relax.
Mary Crimble.
Recline, baby, take your time.
Holding it down. Selector.
Everything will be fine. What you need to do is to open your mind. Kick back, relax.
Production by the great Lennis Esbury. This was version 2 of the song, wasn't it? No, version 3, kind of, I think. Hang on. No, version 2, I am right. A bit more laid back.
Now I think it's about time that I really express it. Lay back and all that. There's no need for you to stress it. When problems got you down and you don't know what to do, just hit the mellow mode and recline.
This is me, by the way.
Now I think it's about time that I really express it. Lay back and all that. There's no need for you.
Yeah, version 2.
When problems got you down and you don't know what to do.
I like Greg's version. You know, it was a bit more in your face. And this one's got Lennis's smoothness all over it, hasn't it?
Cause it's time to
But I haven't got a very good version of Greg's. Best Shot stuff is all I can play on here without getting a copyright strike, unfortunately.
take your time. Everything will be fine.
Moonshine, baby, take your time. Yes, Best Shot. Much later in the day, around 95, 96 possibly. Yeah, as a three-piece. Right, we'll stop that. Let's get on with the review. Let's get my webcam back on so people can see me. That would be handy. I don't know how. I can't remember. Here we are, streaming software. Get the webcam on. There we go. Hello, everybody. It's me. Right. Let me know in the YouTube chat, please, if you're watching. There's 4 people watching, so say hello in the YouTube chat so I can see that it is working, because there seems to be 4 people watching. That's great. I've got a big script here, so we've got a lot of stuff going on. If you're watching me on Instagram, I know 3 of you are, basically you're not going to be able to see the pictures that I'm sharing. I mean, if I pick my phone up, you can see my setup here. I've got my main window there, my camera in the middle, and my streaming software there. But you can't see the pictures that I'm popping up because I'm sharing my screen. Now I just dropped my phone. Steady on. I'm going to end this Instagram live soon anyway, because it's not doing much point. Hi Emma. Best get over to YouTube quickly, because like I said, I'm going to end the Instagram stream soon. There are 6 people watching on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, can you say hello in the chat so I know that it is working? I got 1 like and 8 people watching. It's getting better. Brilliant. It's working. Like I said, I've got a 4-page script to go through, and I'm going to run down everything that happened for me in the year, plus other things. And I've got a really, really cheery section of all the people who died this year. Well, not all the people, but there was a lot of celebrity deaths this year, I tell you what. Okay, let's just get up to the top of the script and do a little bit of housekeeping. One thing I didn't do was I meant to say hello. No, I meant to make a list of how many videos I did this year. My goal is 52 videos. I might have done 52 if you count in midweek ones and stuff. But, you know, because it's Terry on Tuesday, a perfect year would be 52, every, one for every week. I'm pretty sure I didn't anyway. I haven't had time to count them all up. I've been working on this other stuff. So, okay, what I'm going to do now, what's my Instagram saying? I don't know if there's anybody watching. Right, I'm about to end the Instagram one, okay? So you can watch me in YouTube. Still nobody in the chat room. There's 3 likes and 6 people watching. I'll go to live chat. That might help. Oh, blimey. Now I see all your messages. See? This is how good I am at this malarkey. Right. Hello, Dogbloke Media. Hello, Vicky. Hi, you see Marvin. Good. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Alistair. Hello, Andrew Glazebrook. Andrew, Dr. Mad Studio. Right, okay. Death Troopers. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Tracy. Never keeping track of things. Yeah, I'm sort of juggling stuff. So, like I said, let me end my Instagram now because everyone's popped over to YouTube, which is where you'll get to see my screen, etc. And I'll share some pictures and stuff. So I'm going to end this. 22 minutes on thingy. I don't even know how I end this. End video. Catch you on YouTube. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay. Yeah, Tracy, I just saw your message. Yeah, it's been not great for a lot of people. I spoke to someone else this morning and they had a pretty bad Christmas. I mean, I didn't have the best Christmas in the world, but I've had a lot worse, so I'm counting my blessings here. What have we got in YouTube? No, it's just blah 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 subscribers. Okay, so I can turn the phone off for now. Alrighty, so here I am squeezing myself into the corner, and now we can get on with the actual review of the year. Firstly, I want to give some shout outs to, basically, these are the people who oh, you can see me, can't you? Great. These are the people who I've worked with and got to know and made friends with all in 1 year. Some I've known a bit longer, but I'm giving shout outs to people who have been good, especially mostly regarding the film, the new film. So Andrew Troth, hi Andy, Tommy Essen, Sticky Ink Studios in Newport for all your t-shirt printing and custom printed malarkey. That's all cool. These are also people who have actually donated dosh and time and support and everything else. Justin C, Mark C, Yos N, Mike W, Candy Jar, obviously everyone knows who Candy Jar is, David N, he's a Time Lord, Nick A, Wojciech, that's a real name, Matt H, Lee W, Rob P, Peter G, Burkbench, Clive B, my mate Clive at Burkbench Designs for all your horror and masks and stuff. Karen C, Janet J, Siobhan P, Graham S, Richard B, Emma E, Anne E, Teddy V, Melon Pictures, who are currently working on a movie, Andy M, Handy Hosts, that'll be Mark at Handy Hosts for websites, Charlotte C, Geek Rambles, I think, Jessica O, Celia A, Marina B, Shez B, Molly B, Russell M, Liz B, Adrian B, John Davis, and Christine P. Mike Allwood at Invasion Taunton, the event we went to not long ago. Luke A, Connor H, Jamie S, Luke KC, BB M, who's been handling our TikTok, Steve E, Haxon, the rock band, my favourite new rock band, DJ Keltec, Simon Franklin. Now, Haxon, Keltec and Simon Franklin are all supplying music for Bloody Students, so we're going to have some interesting stuff there. We just check the chat. I'm not missing any chat. Okay. Where's the script gone? I've lost the script. Here it is. Andrew B and Louise, they have been helping with location stuff. Gareth W and Sam LD, they're going to be doing digital effects on the film, and some props and sets people. Andrew M, Andy A, and Purple Hat Films. Right, big shout out to our cast of the film. As I've said before, the cast could be subject to change. There's a lot can happen between now and September. Mainly, hopefully we can afford to make the film, but if not, we'll just have to keep raising money. But the cast as it stands right now is my wish list. I've got the people I want. So Hannah Clift, Finley Garrett, Hannah Clift is playing Benny. Finley Garrett is playing Tim. Jeff Logan is playing Fordy, Ben Candy is playing Gag, Mandy Rose is playing Trish, Emma Stacey is playing Towerette, Devontae Fleming is playing... Cameron. Sebastian Faymore is playing Amun Set Rakek. Angharad L. Ford is playing Kells. Jordan Cottle, Leon Davis, and Lucas Edwards are all playing mummies. People I shouldn't really be mentioning, Paul, Kevin, and Dan. Hopefully they can make it for the film as well. You'll know more about them when I do. So that's all the shout outs for people on Bloody Students. So let's get into the... how long have I been online for? I'll just quickly check. 15 minutes. Goodness me. How many people are watching? 6. Not bad. Better than nothing. So let's go into 2022. How did you do for 2022? It's been a very weird year, hasn't it? It's been the cost of living crisis, and we've had, you know, the winter of discontent, everyone heating or eating, annoyed at the government of being, you know, blatantly, I'm not going to get too political, but, you know, blatantly just lining their pockets while the rest of us starve and strike, etc. People are beginning to say enough is enough. Yeah, so there was that. Lots of celebrity deaths. I'll go into that in a bit. I think I'll bring up celebrity pictures when I mention their deaths throughout the year. It's a bit morbid, I know, but I haven't picked all the celebrities who died. Let's just close that window a little bit. Just some of the main ones, or the main important ones. And what else has happened? I got into synthwave music a lot more this year. If you don't know what synthwave is, it's basically, you know, as it sounds, techno type stuff, but it sounds like it's from the 80s, you know. So I have bought and supported some synthwave artists. There's a chap called Fravor in the Ukraine who's currently dodging bombs, literally, to create music, and he's great. It has been an up and down year, absolutely. We're all hoping next year will be better for everyone. That would be great. And yeah, I've been listening to a online radio station called nightride.fm. You go onto that, and 24 hours a day, there's about 7 different channels, and you can listen to all types of synth wave, etc. music. Dr. Mad Studio, 2022 was a better year for me compared to the last 2 years because of COVID, but the biggest annoyance was departure from BBV for obvious reasons. Yeah, it does suck. But as I said to you on Christmas Day, I think, or before Christmas Day, some people just don't want to play ball properly, do they? Anyway, I listen to Nightride FM, nightride.fm, which is a synthwave radio station online, and there's a live chat there. So when I hear a song I like, I go into the live chat, and usually the artist who's playing is actually in the live chat. They'll send me a link to their Bandcamp, and I've bought a couple of songs and albums and stuff, you know, really cheaply. You'll get an album for 5 or 10 quid. You'll get a song for 99p on Bandcamp, and it all helps them. So I've bought a handful of songs and albums via Nightride FM to support synthwave. And I really like synthwave because a lot of it is instrumental. Some of it has vocals, and it's sort of laid-back 80s vibes. It's really nice. I mean, giving my age away, obviously. This year... brought into creation Bloody Students. Thought it up, wrote 5 versions of the script, done a lot of casting, a lot of fundraising, and some location stuff. I've got to start storyboarding on my storyboard pads, thanks to Simon Wyatt for the pads that he gave me. Here's the 5th draft of the script, ready to go. And we're just trying to make sure, see if we can get enough money by September this year to, you know, bring some cash in and make the film. So fingers crossed. Right then. So what else? Yeah. Well, I finished Marvin. It took me 4 years, and this one time at Bandcamp. I think that is where they got their name from. I think I'm fairly sure. Where's Marvin? This is the real Marvin. This is the real Marvin currently on display at Gunnersbury Park Museum. along with some Doctor Who stuff up here. A Vok robot. I have got my own version of that fan-made helmet myself. But yeah, some Doctor Who bits and bobs there. He's currently on display at Gunnersbury Park for the next year. Dr. Mad Studios says, I wish I could show the t-shirt design I made on here. It basically features 2 zombie stormtroopers with a lot of Arabesh text and the name Blackwing Virus on the front. Sounds nice. You'll have to send me it via Instagram. My Marvin is now on display at the National Film and Sci-Fi Museum in Milton Keynes. So if you want to see a fan-made version, which is mine, the differences between the real Marvin and mine is that my Marvin is quite wider at the shoulders, and the hands are bigger, and the shins are slightly different. But generally, they're pretty close. I think I did a half decent job of replicating him. So that was Mervyn. What else? I finished him finally and entered 2 competitions in 2 conventions. Newport won £500, put it into the film. Went through to the championship in Liverpool, didn't win it, but then I got home and sold Marvin for quite a lot of money and put 3/4 of that fee into the film. So we've got we had a big injection of cash there. Then we did the Taunton event and obviously raised another £100 there on raffles and stuff. Okay, so that's Marvin. He's gone, but he did his he did well. He did well for us. Where's my script gone? I've lost my script. Here we go. So there we go. I can see better now. I'm just quickly going to mention the last few days of December 2021, just to give everything a bit of context, I think, a little bit of overlap. So on the 30th of December, I sold my 3D printer. I had that for about a year and a bit, and I'd finished making all the bits for Marvin that I needed, and I was getting to the point where I thought, I'm just going to be wasting money on filament and electric now, just playing with it rather than actually having a project to make. So I ended up selling it to a nice chap who gave me half decent price for it. And I want the technology to advance a little bit. So hopefully the next 3D printer I get will be less maintenance heavy and it'll print a lot quicker and stuff. Things like that. Yes, Dr. Mad Studio, at least both the original Marvin and my replica Marvin are preserved for decades to come. Well, this Marvin you see in the picture, the real Marvin, he got revamped and renovated by Mike Tucker, who currently owns him, for the 2005 movie. They renovated him from the waist up. They didn't have enough money to do the bottom. But Marvin's been renovated. And if you look closely on this one, I just realised, here we go. There's a GPP sticker there and a Sirius Cybernetics Corp sticker there. Now, those stickers are mine. When Marvin got revamped years ago, these stickers had come off. But I sent copies of these stickers to Mike Tucker. So in a weird roundabout-y kind of way, my visit to seeing Marvin in 2018, which led to my making my own Marvin and making the stickers have gone back onto the original TV screen use costume. So that makes me feel really, really good. You know, it's like a little bit of sharing going on there. I will try and see this Marvin at some point again. But obviously I don't have my own head to take up with me and compare it, for sizes and stuff, which I'd love to have done. Anyway, so that's that. Now, okay, we've got an entire year to get through, so I'm not gonna bore you. I'm just gonna sort of rattle off things as quickly as I can. 31st of December, I went on a bike ride for the first time in years, in the pouring rain and the freezing cold, with my mate Gareth, who's my ex-college tutor. Went to Caerphilly and back, which is a heck of a pedal, and I realised how unfit I was, but I did need a bike. Dr. Mad Studio, my dad had to replace a new printer he got recently because it was second-hand without his knowledge, and the warranty had a few months left. And sucks. Yeah, I'm hoping that the printers will go down in price and the technology will get better. There'll be less fiddling around with them and more cracking on with it, Okay, also on the 31st of December, do I have a picture here? I don't have a picture to hand. Maybe I should quickly pull a picture up. Do 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 do. Talk amongst yourselves. Desktop. Here we go. Yeah. So here we go. There we go. Also on the 31st of December, go away, Marvin. We cast the amazing and very lovely Mandy Rose as Trish. I met Mandy a good few years ago when she auditioned for something else I was working on, which never really came to fruition. We filmed a little bit, but it never really got there because it was a big budget. Andrew Glazebrook, I'm waiting for the day when someone can print me a 3D printer. Did you get a joke book for Christmas? It doesn't sound like it. Anyway, yeah, so I met Mandy a few years ago. She's an absolute star. She's a bit Anya Taylor-Joy, which means a big star. I'm hoping she's playing the lead role in my film, Bloody Students. She's playing Trish, and my only worry is that by the time we get to filming, she won't be available because she's that busy and she's moving on to bigger and better things. I would not be surprised if she gets some sort of Doctor Who companion role. She's that good. But at the moment, she's promised me she's going to try and stay free to be in Bloody Students, which is awesome. So I'm very happy about that. So yeah, she was the first person we cast, the first person I went to and said, that's who I want in my film. Well, lost me script again. Here we go. Right, January. Let's start. January 2022. Number one. Oh, yes. A beer list. I made a beer list. And as you can see in this picture, I wrote this with a dry wipe marker on my tiles in my kitchen. I made a list of all the people I want to go and have a beer with. And as you can see... hang on, I got messages and stuff. Here we go. Yeah, as you can see... there is only 4 people I had a drink with, and there's a couple marked in orange, which means I kind of had a drink with them. Karen Calvert-Jones turned up on my birthday on the 17th of December to have a drink with me. Andrew Minton, I've had a couple of business meetings with him where we met in pubs, so that counts. Sanjay Bahadur, or Sanjay Chaddi, as I used to know him, from the boy band. I bumped into him at the R&B night. Richie V, if you look down the bottom of the first column, yes, he was working that night in the R&B night, but I kind of had a drink at the same time as him, as it were. Andy Troth, we had Cokes or something, or coffee, I think it was, wasn't it, when you came to Cardiff to talk about Bloody Students. Lennis Esprit, just above Andy. We went to cinema a few times. I went to McDonald's. We watched many Star Trek movies in the cinema. Lennis is my music producer, by the way. And so look, I wouldn't mind having a drink with Fred Dibner if he was still with us. Once he entered a pub, you couldn't get him out. He sounds like that kind of guy. And Matt Herbert, bumped into him for the first time in ages in November, I think it was. But we didn't really go have a drink. Well, we'll have to sort that out. Now, obviously, all these other people, Antti Karppinen, or Antti Karppinen, to pronounce it properly, lives in Finland and travels all over the country, all over the world, in fact. So I can sort of forgive him for not having a pint with me. But there's a lot of people there I didn't get round to having drinks with, but I will keep hold of that list and see if I can improve on it. This year. Okay, so that's the beer list. 1st of January. Sagittarius in January. All right, here's a little thing on Instagram, and it said, Dear Sagittarius. So let's see how close to this horoscope nonsense I did. Dear Sagittarius, this year is here to put you in the right place, to take you where you should be, and to detach you from everything that is toxic, negative, destructive, illusionary, deceptional, and confusing. Delusional. delusional, fake, and artificial. Yes, I did quite a bit of that. Trying to remove myself from situations that are toxic and try to remove people who are toxic or bad for me. Not everyone is horrible and bad, but some people do drain you like crazy. We all have them. Obviously, not naming no names, but when you have people in your life who do not make you feel good, you best try and distance yourself from them. You will be turning towards everything that is real, pure, constructive, refining, valuable, healthy, and beautiful. Yes, I would try my best to. You are turning towards what is beneficial for you, your health, your well-being, your body, mind, and soul. Yes, except for body. I'm basically very out of shape, and I plan to do something more about that next year. You're asked to get rid of addictions, anything that you're a slave to, anything that you're not free from. Well, I'm never going to be free of my workload and my ambitions, but hopefully that'll be in a good way, not a bad way. You will be working on authentic long-term freedom. Emotional vampires, Tracy, absolutely. That's a good phrase. People do tend to suck the energy out of the room and suck the life out of you, and sometimes sometimes they can't help it. But if you're struggling with your own mental health and you're feeling a bit under the weather and in the wars, as it were, mentally and whatever, the last thing you need is someone else adding to the pressure, right? Anyway, you will be working on authentic long-term freedom. Yeah, it's a great phrase, emotional vampires. Dr. Mad Studio, I stay clear from any drama or any dodgy person. I've known a few people like that, and many of them don't have happy endings. You are 100% right. You'll be asking yourself some very deep questions you've never thought about before. I've done that. And as I go through the year, you'll learn a bit more about that. You're rebuilding yourself during this year. You're building a new self, and the process will be rewarding and enjoyable. Well, that's kind of true. I definitely had my eye on myself a bit more, and I took steps to think a bit more about the important things I want to get done, the important people, and the people who I enjoy spending time with, and a little bit about the people I don't enjoy spending time with. So you're trying to squish the one out and magnify the other. Right, so what are we doing? Started an Indiegogo page on the 7th of January last year. None of you will have seen it because it's waiting in the wings for me to press launch for Bloody Students. I didn't want to do it before Christmas because obviously cost of living crisis, bills and problems and everything going up. And, coming up to Christmas as well, you don't want to just run an Indiegogo. It's probably not going to make any money. But I'm going to try and pick my moment next year and launch the Indiegogo for Bloody Students just to see if we can get some money from total strangers, basically. I've nagged everyone. I've nagged all of you guys and gals on here. How are we doing? 6 viewers. Okay, that's cool. Hopefully we'll spread the net a little bit wider and hopefully get a few more people. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go full screen, and then I can switch things on and off, can't I? Alrighty. There we go. Let's have a look. Dr. Mad Studio, tend to have a lack of motivation in winter because of the long dark nights and rubbish weather, but once spring comes around again, I kick back into high gear. Yeah, you're right. Everyone does. One of my best friends said that she hates January and she hates anything after Christmas. The days where we are now in between Christmas and the New Year, it's that weird limbo, that sort of scrag end of the year. I get that twice because my birthday's 5 days before Christmas. So after my birthday, it's like, wait a couple of days to Christmas, and then I got to wait another couple of days to New Year, and then you got to get into January. And like I said, my friend Dom, she hates maybe a seasonal affective disorder thing, but it's more a case of like, I hate Christmas, I hate January, it's all slush and grey and etc. etc. So let's once it gets brighter and drier, hopefully we'll all be a bit happier because we won't be spending a fortune on the heating. You may notice where my 3D printer was and a load of CD racks, it's all gone. I cleaned it all last night. I'm probably going to I've got a very big TV downstairs. I'm going to put my TV there. and then I'm going to hook it up to my, because that's a DVD rack there. I'm going to hook it up to my Blu-ray player. I very rarely use my living room, and when people come round, I don't put the TV on. So, I don't have a TV license. I don't pay the TV license. I don't watch telly. Winter blues, yeah. Seasonal affective, winter blues, whatever you want to call it. So yes, I'm going to put my TV there so I can watch stuff upstairs, because I spend most of my time in this room. I know it's a waste renting an entire house, but I don't really want a housemate. Not unless it's Kate Beckinsale. I'll probably stretch the rule for her, but other than that, I've shared houses before, and I like having my own space and peace and quiet, etc. Anyway, let's get back to the script, shall we? Okay, first celebrity death of the year in my list. Where is the photo? Where is the photo gone? I was looking at it right now. Okay, so all I got to do is switch webcam to monitor. Mr. Sidney Poitier. Obviously, as you can see here, Oscar-winning actor, tons and tons of films. Really important cultural figure as well. I don't have, he died on the 7th of January. I don't have his age or of the age of anybody who died in these things. I'm just going to do that. But he was a very powerful, strong actor, etc. What a chap. Big bucket of win, as Kevin Smith says. He will be missed. Okay, back to me. I've also on the 7th of January, I finished draft 2 of Bloody Students. So January the 7th, I must have started writing early 2021 or middle of 2021. If I finished draft 2 on the 7th of January, I didn't write an entire script in 7 days. You know what I mean? Okay, on the 12th of January, I had a Zoom call with a chap in America called Jamie, who runs the Perfect Organism podcast, and it's all about the world of Alien. And he cast me in his audio play Alien Abandon, and we did a Zoom call where we read through the script, and I played one of the 3 characters, one of the main characters, in fact. It's still online somewhere, so if you look for Perfect Organism podcast or Perfect Organism on Instagram, there'll be links to that. The play is called Alien Abandon. Jamie was producing it. There was a guy called Liam and another guy called Perry. So they're the 2 other actors. Okay then, so on the 15th of January, I sold my Dalek. You may remember I had a Dalek kit, which I was spending a lot of money on. Not doing too much work on, but spending a lot of money on getting all the bits together. And it dawned on me that although I'd love dearly to have a Dalek, I've got a film to make, and I've got other stuff to do, and I've got, rent and bills to pay. So some of these projects have to go. So I sold the Dalek. I managed to get 850 quid for him. It's not exactly what he was worth. I'm sure he was worth over £1,000, but a bunch of guys bought him. I think they're from the sort of Somerset area, but they were very keen and very happy. And I've lost contact with them, but I'd like to see if they've made the Dalek by now. I will make another Dalek one day. Maybe, like I said, if 3D printers get better, I'll print one. Here we go. Thanks, Andrew. Sidney Poitier directed one of your favourite movies, Stir Crazy. He directed Stir Crazy. Oh my goodness. With Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, RIP to all 3 of them. Thanks for the factoids there, Andy. It's quite handy. You'll have to keep doing this for another 50 odd people. Okay, so who is what we got next? Oh, another death. As soon as I find the picture, you'll understand what I mean. But this is not a celebrity as such. Okay, back to webcam. If you can see this picture, you'll be aware that it's a cartoon. Francis Lake, aka Flake. So I made a comedy little picture there with a flake in a grave. Francis Lake, or Flake, was a character in the first two drafts of Bloody Students. I quite liked him. He was very sarcastic. He's a bit Rick Mayall, and he had some of the best lines. He was quite an obnoxious little git. But I realised I had too many characters. So it was making the script too long and too, blown out. And I wanted things to speed up a bit quicker. Dr. Mad Studio, Dad loved the films Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor did together. Yeah, who doesn't? Stir Crazy and Hear No Evil, See No Evil, all that kind of stuff. Brilliant. Two geniuses. And in the end, I decided which character I could remove to shorten the script and lessen the cast, and Flake had to go. Although he was one of my favourite characters, his character is the one that made the most sense to remove. So, bye-bye Flake, we hardly knew ye. But as a result, some of his genius dialogue, what I wrote, has actually moved over to some of the other characters. I've spread it around, so... fingers crossed, you'll still hear the wit and wisdom of Flake, even though he's not there anymore. Alrighty, what we got next here? 19th, I had a tooth out. I had a tooth out. It was horrible. That was fun. I'm all good now. Nothing's in pain. And I sold my Batman suit. I was making a Batman Returns costume. And, unfortunately... I'm just checking for another picture. I was looking forward to it, but then again, it dawned on me that I was spending a lot of money on a distraction that I wouldn't be wearing very much. And I thought, do you know what, dude, just sell it. R.I.P. Flake, yes. Andy says, I miss poor Flake. Yeah, I mean, but like I say, because Flake is gone, his dialogue, a lot of it has been moved over to the character of Tim, so Tim gets some of the wit and wisdom that he didn't have previously, so there you go. Okay, what's next? We have another death. 21st of January. It's not my webcam off. The Great Meatloaf. He died on the 21st of January. Going back to Alien Abandon, I recorded it on the 24th of January. Now, February the 1st, I got back in touch after a year or so with my accountant. Originally, I told my accountant I didn't need his services anymore, and then I tried to do a tax return on my own and royally ballsed it up. So I had to contact my accountant cap in hand, and he saved me a lot of money and saved me a lot of time. Dr. Mad Studio, I had to get a lot of work done on my teeth last year. Recently had my bottom left wisdom tooth removed. Mine's bottom left. Oh no, wisdom. They were done a few years ago. Thankfully I didn't get a dry socket, but I did get a minor infection. Yeah, the teeth stuff is, any pain you get is because it just takes over your entire head and it's horrible. Tracy saw Meatloaf live many times. Yeah, I bet he was an absolute powerhouse, on stage, powerful and a good actor as well. People forget that, and he wasn't just in Rocky Horror; he was in Fight Club, and a few other things. Okay. So, also another death on the 12th. I can just skip to it. The great film director Ivan Reitman, whose son recently directed Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is Ivan at the premiere, I guess. So Ivan Reitman passed away on the 12th of February. Obviously, he did a number of movies that I can't name off the top of my head, but Ghostbusters is the one he's most famous for. So, yes, unfortunately, he went. What we got here? 14th of February. I put a call out on my social medias looking for producers. Let's quickly go into the chat. His stage presence was amazing, and fantastic singer and a nice guy. I mostly remember Meatloaf from the 51st State starring Samuel L. Jackson. Yes. Oh, blimey. There's a story about the 51st State. It was written by a lad who worked in a video shop, very much in the way that Quentin Tarantino did. And he was his first ever script, and he managed to get it under the noses of people like Samuel L. Jackson. Ghostbusters 1 and 2, yeah, they were brilliant. The first two, obviously. I liked Afterlife. I didn't hate the all-girl Ghostbusters because I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan in the world, but I could see how it was a flop. Maybe they'll do another one with Paul Rudd and the Stranger Things girl. That'd be cool. Okay. Yeah, so on the 14th, we put a call out on all the social medias looking for producers. Someone who could help me and Andy with the bloody student stuff and, give us a hand with doing social media, maybe even putting money into it, raising money, that kind of thing. Guess what? Nout. Not one person came forward. Still, I guess it's to be expected. The problem is, though, when we've made the film or when we've raised enough money to start filming, people will come out the woodwork going, can I help? Can I help? And I'm like, no, we don't need you now. Where were you beforehand? So if you know anyone who's a company director, or Stel Pavlou wrote the screenplay for the 51st Date, I'll take your word for it. I don't know. But I heard he was working like in a video shop and it was his first ever script. Maybe you can debunk that for me, I don't know. So we'd like to get producers. If there's anyone who's a company director or, got some savings that they want to put into a film that is, going to get made one way or the other by hook or by crook, help out, that'd be great. But understandably, not everyone has disposable income. What's next? On the 16th, I lost my wallet and all my debit cards and everything, with money in it as well. That was the day I went to the cinema. It fell out of my pocket in Cardiff in the middle of the night. And the next day was a Sunday, and some complete stranger phoned me and said, I've got your wallet here. And I managed to get it back. Long story short. So there are honest people left in the world, which was great. 19th. On the 19th, see if I can bring another picture up here. Bloody students again. Here we go. We went and bought a CGI model of a sarcophagus, something like this, and we got it printed out basically full size. Let's see if I can skip through some of these photos. No, that's not it. These are reference pics. Kind of like that. It's just the front half, basically. I'm going to have to make the bottom half out of something else. I'm not going to 3D print it. It took too long. This is a mock-up of our model, but I've changed the face on this one. Obviously, Doctor Who fans will already see that I've put the face of Sutekh, the villain from the Tom Baker story, The Pyramids of Mars, in there, because I thought it might be a nice in-joke to have our bad guy, Pharaoh. Tracy's going to have a tea and catch up soon. Yeah, I'll leave. This will be live on. It won't be live. It'll be uploaded to Facebook at the end of it anyway. So we're going to try and. I think that the main pharaoh, if at all possible, will have a sarcophagus that has Sutekh's face as a little Doctor Who in joke. That was Ivan Reitman, wasn't it? Where's me? There I am. There we go. What's next? I've lost my script. There we go. I had a Zoom call with the Welsh Film Agency, also known as Film Cymru, and what a depressing one that was. Regardless of how prepared I was, or there's no getting away from Sutekh. No matter how prepared or hopeful or on the ball I was, the Welsh Film Agency, it's not the first time I've rung them. I've rung them many times over the years and had meetings with them, and their job is to basically discourage you, because they'll say, oh well, we're not interested in making films that are under £1 million or £500,000. So when you say, can I apply for £500,000, they say no, because you're a nobody, we don't know who you are. So it's like sod off. But then when I make the film, I'm pretty sure they'll be in contact going, hi, can we put our logo on the start of the film in order, to take the credit for it? And I'm not being bitter. That's happened to a friend of mine who had a movie out, and they wouldn't help him before, but they're very keen to put their logo on the film afterwards. So again, one of the catchphrases for me this year is, if they wanted to, they would. A couple of people have promised stuff and then just dropped the ball and not shown any interest, so I'm not chasing them up. I'm like, if they wanted to, they would. That's been a bit of a running theme this year. Okay, back to celebrity deaths. Hollywood is bad enough. Oh yeah, at least there's a chance of getting a different, a better budget. You know what I mean? Who's the deaths? No, I haven't got. I've done Ivan Reitman. 26th of February. God, I've got to go faster, haven't I? Went out with my mate Wells for a pub crawl. Nearly got glassed. I was sitting in our childhood sort of town where we both grew up, and I had my back to a fight, and a beer glass flew over me or smashed behind me, and I was covered in beer. That was fun. So it was one of many pub crawls that we do occasionally every few months. I want to do a pub crawl to the World's End locations. There's Edgar Wright film, Simon Pegg film. So that'd be a fun pub crawl. Okay. 27th of February, had my first chai latte. I was hungover, so I went to Tesco and had a chai latte. Why hasn't someone told me about this before? Chai lattes are lovely. It's like a cinnamon milkshake, but hot. 29th, the sarcophagus arrived. Dr. Mad Studio said he'll be right back, no worries. Okay, I'm going to keep going anyway because this is going to be live. This is going to be uploaded later on. Where's the finished sarcophagus? I'm sure I had a photo here. Dum dum de dum de dum de dum. Aha. Okay. There's the sarcophagus in my living room. All 7 feet of it. So that's the front part of the sarcophagus. Like I say, I have to make the back part. He's wrapped up in tape. He's in 2 halves there. And he's all in segments, as you can see, in different coloured segments. And I've still yet to... I've had him almost a year now, and I've got to glue him all together and paint him. He's got a normal face, not the Sutek face. There's the face. So it's looking great. I mean, you can see here that it's all held together with hexagonal blocks, so everything registers tightly. And we're going to glue it together, put some filler on it, give it a nice coat of paint. So that's our sarcophagus. There's all the connecting blocks. That's the bottom half. Looks great. Some half decent detail on there. I think it'd be great once it's all painted. It was a good view from above of how it's put together. Okay, what's next? The Nerf ship. Do you remember the Nerf ship? Let's go back to the webcam. The Nerf ship is finished, and I still have it. Here's my Nerf ship. I gave it to my friend Andy to paint. So he painted it. I put the red stripes on. So Andy painted it and finished it off. The plan was to use this to raise money for the film. But it's too fragile to throw into a suitcase with all the other toys and prizes I had. So we still have the Nerf ship. It's a nice little thing. He literally made out of a Nerf gun split in half, and a few other bits of greeblies. But basically, there's my Nerf ship. It's very Battlestar Galactica or Star Wars inspired. So Nerf ship's still here. Maybe I'll eBay him or raffle him or something next year to raise more money for the film. Okay, that's February done. That's 2 down. Stay with me, we're nearly there. March. I put a note here. On the 1st of March, for the first week of March, I went on a downer. I got very depressed for some reason. I can't remember why or what sparked it off. But as anyone who suffers with depression will tell you, even if you've managed to sort of get a handle on it or beat it or defeat it, which I think I have with the help of antidepressants and stuff. I'm not on antidepressants anymore. I think I'm on the mend. But when you never fully shake it off. So if something annoys you, it'll annoy you for a lot longer than it would normally. So for everyday people who are a bit more a bit, less depressed, they may be pissed off at something for 20 minutes. But that same thing happening to me would bring me down for a week. So I don't know why that was, but I was. Anyway, 2nd of March, another celebrity death. Let's close that picture and look for... Where is he? Nearly there. Where is he? Ah, there he is. This is a studio executive. This is probably taken from the 80s or 90s. This is Alan Ladd Jr. Alan Ladd, his father was a studio boss at 20th Century Fox, and so was Alan Ladd Jr. This guy is famous for basically giving George Lucas a chance with a little film called Star Wars. He also did the Planet of the Apes movies before that, but he was nice enough to give George Lucas a chance when all the other studios turned him down. So that's Alan Ladd Jr., also known as Laddie. I think his father was called Laddie as well, as a nickname. January the 4th, The Batman came out. The Robert Pattinson one. A lot better than I thought it would be. I don't particularly like the look of the costume, and it's a very long film. And everyone says the soundtrack is up for an Oscar. I think the soundtrack is boring as heck. It basically sounds like the Imperial March slowed down. It's the same 4 notes. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, Andrew Glazebrook, and Alien as well. So he produced Alien. The Batman was better than I thought, but I haven't watched it a second time yet because, it was getting a bit kind of, long. March the 5th. I always celebrate March the 5th because it's the anniversary of my moving to Wales from London as a kid when I was 10. So this year marked 42 years in Wales, which is quite fitting considering I had finished Marvin this year. 42, you see. 9th of March, I went to Cardiff University to do a voiceover for a student production. It was good fun, very short, small part. They promised me it'd be paid. By the time I took my train fare out of it, I got about £1.30. So that's great. Dr. Matt Studio, welcome back. No, you missed, I just mentioned Alan Ladd Jr., who produced Alien and gave Star Wars the green light. So he passed away on the 2nd. Where are we now? Yeah, so I also did, let's get a picture up. This was a great deal of fun, actually. There we go. Knock the webcam off. I did this video. I did the artwork, for the video. A reggae artist called Dennis Boville. Did a song called Caught You in a Lie. So my friend Gareth did all the animation and stuff. He animated the character and had him singing and playing guitar and all this other multicolored stuff around. Very nice. Sort of laid back lovers rock reggae tune. And it turns out that Dennis Boville is a bit of a legend because he helped create... there was a song called Silly Games. In the 90s it was sung by Lindy Layton from Beats International. But originally it was sung by a singer called Janet Kay. And Janet Kay and Dennis Boville single-handedly created the reggae genre of music called lovers rock, which is basically reggae ballads. So it was really cool. Dennis is getting on a bit, obviously. He's a bass player. And this song, I don't know how many hits it's had, but, people have said nice. Even Dennis himself had said, thanks for the artwork, thanks for making me look good. So that was a nice, fun thing. It didn't pay a lot, but at the end of the day, it's cool to get involved in something like that. These things don't always happen. Alrighty. 13th, I went to Weston-super-Mare convention called Stars of Time. I went there with Dalek Decimus to have a play in a Dalek, but mainly I went there to meet David Bradley, who is, what's his name? Albus thingy from Harry Potter. Albus Finch? Something like that. Finch? Argus Filch, that's his name. And he was also the first Doctor. He's been recast as the first Doctor, hasn't he? He's also the godfather of Kate Beckinsale. It's a theme here. No, but the reason I went there was to queue up, pay 15 quid for a signed photo, just so I could tell him about Bloody Students and will you be in my film? And he said, oh yeah, I it sounds good. You'll have to contact me agent. So don't think that's going to happen, but would be nice. Okay, so it's celebrity death time again, I'm afraid. Just go through my pictures. Oh, that's a very small picture. I'll zoom in. There we go. William Hurt, the great William Hurt. He's been in many things, Lost in Space. Obviously, this is from the Civil War. He played in a number of Marvel films. He played General Thunderbolt Ross. He passed away on the 13th of March as well. Massively long career. One thing I'm really, really annoyed at, really, is that in the upcoming Thunderbolts movie, which is a Marvel film, his character is going to be played by Harrison Ford. And the rumour is he's going to turn into the Red Hulk, which is what his character does in the comics. Now, nothing wrong with that, but what annoys me is that they've just said, never mind, recast. He's dead, so what, recast. They didn't say that with Chadwick Boseman. Don't get me wrong, I totally understand that Chadwick Boseman was a very skilled actor, a gifted actor, died very tragically, too young, and was a big, because of Black Panther, he was a big cultural, black icon. But, they dedicated the entire film of Wakanda Forever to him, on screen and off screen, talking about his death. But when it comes to William Hurt, who's had a much longer career, never mind. Recast. So, a little bit annoyed about that. But again, I'm sailing on rough waters here. I'm sailing close to the wind because somebody's going to watch this and comment in the comments below and go, "You're racist. You're racist. We can't recast T'Challa. You're racist because you just want the white man to be praised up." I'm like, well, let's call it what it is. An actor tragically dies. You've got a choice of recast or don't recast, and why couldn't they have recast T'Challa? I think they should have. Give his character a thing, but people, I don't want. I can understand why people don't want to recast, but then no one's made any fuss about William Hurt. It's like, well, bring Harrison Ford in, it'll be fine. So that's a little annoying. Yes, he was in Broadcast News, a classic 80s film. I think I might have seen that at least once. Alrighty, where are we now? 17th of March, I decided to give up salt. For years I've had too much sugar, too much salt. And that lasted a good few months. I've recently bought salt to go on my food, and I really shouldn't because I love the taste of it. I have to get on that low salt stuff, the low sodium stuff, to be honest. I have too much salt and too much sugar with everything. Finally bought a bike of my own, which is downstairs. Went on a bike ride. That was good but exhausting. We had good weather in March. 21st. Bought Plushie Mummy. Here he is. This is a Universal Studios Monsters. It's Boris Karloff as the mummy. He's currently wearing a Jack Sparrow ring here, but he does have a ring. Did I give up the Angelina Jolie film also? No idea what you're on about. So this is a Boris Karloff. He's like a beanie baby. He's got beans in his butt. But this I had to buy because for a number of reasons, but mainly he's going to be used as a prop in Bloody Students. What was next? Halo started on the 24th of March, the TV series. A lot of purists couldn't stand it. I thought it was good. I thought it was alright. It was unfortunately missing one of the main things about Halo, which was the music. And that's because the composer, Michael Salvatore and Marty O'Donnell, had fallen out with the TV people. But some of the Halo themes could vaguely be heard in the last few episodes, and they've since got credited for the music and stuff. So hopefully if it gets to a second season, we'll have much more of the Halo music, which will feel more like Halo. That would be awesome. Celebrity death time again, kids. Where are they? They died on the 25th of March. As soon as I can find the picture. Why am I not finding? They're there somewhere. Oh, have the picture disappeared? Dr. Mount Studio, I did play the first 3 Halo games when I was a lad, but I played the first 2 and that's all I've played. I played the first one when the Xbox first came out because I was living in a place where a guy had an Xbox and loved it. I still have Halo 1 on my PC, a cracked version with a new version, new skins and stuff. So it's still the only game I can play, really. Here's the picture. Hang on, it's right at the bottom there. Go to my list. There we go. Okay, so celebrity death number, I don't know how many. It was Taylor Hawkins, the drummer for the Foo Fighters. I don't know a lot about Taylor Hawkins myself, but I do own at least 2 Foo Fighters albums because Dave Grohl is an absolute genius. So he died very young. Always a shame when someone young and talented goes. Shocking stuff. 27th of March, I went on another bike ride on my own this time in the summer. Realised how terribly out of shape I was, very hot and sweaty, but after that I haven't picked the bike up since. So that's almost a year. I really must get back onto it. Also on the 27th I got the silicone mummy mask, which is... You can just see his head there. See that? That's the silicone mummy mask, the first one from Workbench Studios. They're going to be worn underneath the mummy's bandages, etc., for all our mummy actors in the film. March the 30th, Moon Knight started. Also very heavily in the Egyptian mythology and stuff. And I quite like Moon Knight. It was weird. It was a little bit... I don't know, it was a bit kind of quirky because it dealt with... I mean, Oscar Isaac knocked it out the park, fair play, because he had to play, 3 or 4 characters by the end of it, and because he had sort of multiple personality, etc. But that was cool. Don't really have much time for video games nowadays. No, I'm not a gamer. I'm literally not a gamer. I used to say Tetris and Halo. That's all I play whenever I can. Right. 31st of March, Morbius was in the cinema, apparently. I didn't mind it. A lot of people said it was the worst film ever in the world, ever. Now, it wasn't an epic. It wasn't a masterpiece. But it was all right, It was like, I could watch that again without, wanting to, switch it off. I think it was okay. I've got itchy nose. Right, let's get into April. Nothing much in April except for Marvin the First. April the 1st, Marvin's torso turned up. I went and bought a planter, a fiberglass box, a planter, turned it upside down, drilled a big hole in the head. Well, I didn't. I gave it to my friend Mark, who's a bit of a genius with a Dremel. Drilled a big hole in the head, hole for the arms. In the end, I had to hacksaw the whole thing down the side so you could put it on front and back, But that was a big sturdy part of it. Do I have a picture of Marvin here? I'm sure I do. Let's quickly look at pictures. Nope, not that folder. Where is it? It's here somewhere. Oh, here we are. Yeah, so here's me with some unknown sportsman. Marvin's entire torso, well, from there up to the neck, is a fiberglass box. This ribbed section is a thin fiberglass, vac-formed plastic sheet, which is held on by Velcro. But underneath that, obviously, you've got a big, strong, 5mm thick fiberglass box, which is strong enough, like structure, to hold everything together, which was cool. Knock that off. It's Taylor Hawkins again. And okay, where's my script? Yes. Nearly done with April. April the 12th, we had another celebrity death. I had to hunt out all these pictures for you. Hope you appreciate it. Another celebrity death. Comedian Gilbert Gottfried. He's had a big, long career. I can't name a heck of a lot of things he's been in, but he had that unmistakable voice. Most people would know him from Aladdin, the animated Disney film Aladdin, where he played Iago, the parrot. And the only thing I can remember, and I tend to say it quite a lot in conversation, is, "Why am I not surprised?" Because he had that kind of voice. So that was what's his face. That was Gilbert Gottfried, who was, I think he might have been in his late 70s when he went. But again, like I say, bucket of win. He will be missed. April the 8th, I dipped my toe into the Bitcoin market and bought 40 quid's worth of Ethereum, and played around with it online and tried to see what would happen and watch its value go up and down and up and down. And then I got a bit too scared and I thought, you know what, I'm taking all of this out. So I ended up losing about 20 quid out of him. Managed to get 20 back. So basically, that was my fun with Ethereum. I thought, let's not bother. Dr. Mad Studio says, shame Gilbert is gone. Some of the cast of Aladdin will be attending next year's Comic-Con Liverpool. Oh, wow, okay. Unfortunately, I won't be. I've just gone and sold me tickets because, without putting too fine a point on it or saying too much that might get me into trouble, I don't like the way it's run. Let's leave it at that. But I'll be at other stuff. 25th. Got a new router. It's over here. It's just on the side here. Got a router about that big. You know, my last router was about the size of this sanding pad. My new router is basically the size of an A4 sheet of paper. It's huge. But, you know, I've got they give me a good deal, and I've got not the fastest connection in the world. Everyone I know is like, oh, I get a zillion, billion, trillion terabits a second. Good for you. Mine works fine. It's as simple as that. It's like people who have phones who are like, oh, well, you know, I've got a £90 a minute tariff because it's got all the bells and whistles. I'm like, really? I pay £6 a month, and it does exactly what I need it to do. I hate the bragging. Anyway, what we got left? 26th, the 26th of April, Alien Abandon got released. The audio play I was telling you about, that I recorded back in January. And that's still online somewhere. Sounded quite well. I liked it a lot. So, you know, for only three actors and an alien, it was quite a good little play. And on the 30th, we had another pub crawl. Probably Caerphilly this time, because there's quite a lot of pubs that you can walk to in Caerphilly. So that was cool. Just quick check. We've got 5 people watching. Great. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick look at my phone at Instagram and see if I've missed anything on here. What's that? Subscribers, blah blah blah. Couple of likes. Yeah, alright. So that's enough of that. Okay. May. Let's get into May. May the 5th, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness came out. Again, a few online people slagged it off for being the worst film ever. I thought it was good fun. It wasn't perfect, as all of Phase 4 films have been a bit in places. Let's have a look. Dr. Mad Studio says, sorry to hear that. I've heard a lot of stories about Comic-Con Liverpool, from queuing for hours to get in to guests being rude to members of the public. Well, one thing I will say is the two I went to were really well run. There was a bit of queuing at the Newport one, but they got people in quickly. It wasn't cramped. Everything seemed organised. And guests being rude, I guess that's down to the guest. It's not the organiser's fault, is it? But I mean, you know, I'll give you a classic example. Dave Prowse, the late Dave Prowse. I did a pop video with him, his last pop video before he passed away. I was at a part in that. And he was great, and I met him at a number of conventions, and he was great. But the one time I went to a convention in North Wales, in Wrexham, we went over with a bunch of stormtroopers and stuff to see if we can get a photo with him, and he told us all to bugger off because he was in a bad mood. And also he had Alzheimer's, so, you know, people have bad days, you know. If you've got to deal with the public all the time, I can imagine it could be a little bit annoying. Yeah, so, you know, it just happens. Okay, let's get into... we're still in May, aren't we? On the 8th of May, they announced the new Doctor Who, Ncuti Gatwa, who is... he's best known for being in Sex Education, which I've never seen, but anyone who's seen it has said he's great in that. I'm not convinced. I wanted Adrian Lester, if we're talking handsome black guys. I wanted Adrian Lester from Hustle to be the Doctor, because he's a Shakespearean. He's a very talented actor who could do it really well. But Ncuti Gatwa's got the role under Russell T Davies, so it's only a matter of time to see if he's any good. I'm not holding my breath because Doctor Who has kind of, to me, has gone down a little bit. Who knows? 15th, I got a script writing gig for we'll go back in the Bitcoin world. There's a project called Hangry Animals, which is a cartoon NFT project about animals, and they're kind of like mutant animals, and I had to write 6 scripts for motion comics. Decent paid job, and I've still got the last one to write. We got to have a meeting first, so we've got to get back to finishing that. But it's good fun. 19th. Oh, let's get a picture up. Come on, Gilbert. Move out the way. Here we go. The 19th of May, we announced the Boris Karloff book, Monsters Are Real, created by my friend Simon Williams, who's an artist and worked for Marvel and many other people, and Simon Wyatt, who's also another artist. They're doing a anthology, all in black and white, in a retro horror comics production, as it says there, and it's endorsed. If you look at the bottom of the screen, registered trademark of Sarah Karloff, and is used with permission. Did I get any free bitcoins as payment? No. I think they offered me did I want to be paid in Bitcoin, and because I didn't have a very good experience with dabbling in Ethereum, I thought, you know what, my landlord doesn't take Bitcoin, so I didn't. I can make use of the money more than the Bitcoin, so that's why I didn't. So the Monsters Are Real book is currently being drawn up, and there's 4 stories in it. There's a Jekyll and Hyde story, a vampire story, a Frankenstein-style story, and a mummy story. And I was asked if I wanted to submit a mummy story, so I did. A 10-page mummy story, and when they get round to drawing it, and it's double whammy, because not only is it, this book endorsed by the estate of Boris Karloff, it will also be a prequel set 100 years before Bloody Students. So, when Bloody Students come out, we can say that there's a prequel story to it in comic book form in this Monsters Are Real project. And when Simon bring out their Monsters Are Real book, they can say that the Mummy story has a sequel which is being made into a motion picture. So that's how that works. How cool is that? Okay, we've got another celebrity deathage. Let's go find a pic. There he is. Wayayata, or Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta, known for most people as, all these Scorsese gangster films, etc. Looks like the older brother of Robert Patrick. He was a lot older than this photo here when he passed. But, he sort of cornered the market in slightly dangerous gangster types. So that's Ray Liotta. Also, now on the 27th of May, the Obi-Wan series, the Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi it was called. That's right, on Disney Plus. They dropped 2 episodes straight away, and I really liked it. They do say that it sort of floundered a bit in the middle, but I think it was one of the better ones. It was definitely better than the Book of Boba Fett, but I really enjoyed it. Had a smart meter put in on the 30th, and you can just about see there. There it is. My finger's touching it now. That's my monitor for my smart meter, so I can watch how much money is ticking away. It's not as bad as I thought it'd be. I was horrified at the idea of smart meters, but because I'm still on pay as you go, I can monitor it. It's okay. And on the 21st of May, that marked 10 years since we completed work in Tunisia on Luke Skywalker's house, also known as the Lars Homestead. So, the igloo that Luke Skywalker lives in? We went out there 10 years ago to renovate it and save it from crumbling to bits. This was not the original one from 1976. This was the one that they made in 1999 for the Phantom Menace. Not Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. And since then, our work has crumbled to bits under the weather, but another Star Wars, a Tunisian-based Star Wars group, has got together and done it again. So there are fans who are constantly going back and trying to fix it up as best they can. Dr. Mad Studio, Ray Liotta was in GTA Vice City. Oh yes, love the Obi-Wan series as well. Got the soundtrack. I don't have the soundtrack. I'll have to get hold of it because the music was very good, especially with the John Williams theme. Okay, that was May. June. Let's try and get through these a little quicker. June. Johnny Depp wins his court case against Amber Heard. That was handy. I haven't done Jack Sparrow for nearly 3 years now. But even when I did do Jack Sparrow, some people, especially drunk women, would come up to me and say, "You're a wife beater," because he was getting tarred with that brush. He beat his he beat the course, he beat the case. But a lot of people say they're as bad as each other, and I think there's some truth in that. I think Amber Heard's a despicable human being, but I don't think Johnny Depp's a saint either. But I like Johnny more than Amber Heard, let's face it. And that is part of the reason that I've decided to basically bring my Jack Sparrow costume back. More on that later. Also on the 1st of June, I started the 5th and final draft of Bloody Students. And here it is. The 4th draft was about 120 pages. And nothing happened until about 90 minutes or 65 minutes into the film. Now we're at a slightly healthier 76 pages, and the action starts a lot earlier, which is what you want. You don't want to hang about. So I think it's a bit pacier, a bit quicker, a bit faster. I'm very happy with that. What next? 2nd of June, The Orville, Season 3. If you don't watch The Orville, it's Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy. It's his comedy version of Star Trek, although it has changed over time. The first 2 seasons were a bit more comedy. Not full of... A lot of people didn't like it because they were expecting knob gags all the way through and fart gags. But it wasn't like that. It was Star Trek with occasional jokes in, light humour. And in the 3rd season, they found their tone and they got even less humour. So it feels more like Star Trek now, and it's really, really good. But when there's humour in it, it's funny. But it's not, crude humour like Family Guy. Looking forward to, hopefully they'll get a season 4. It's a huge budget thing, and if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's great. What next? The 3rd of June, The Boys season 3. Always quality. That is gross and brutal, but a very good show. And we also cast Hannah Clift as Benny in Bloody Students. She's one of the main leads. Hannah is a super talented one-woman comedy show. She does, her own stand-up stuff and performances. Andy Glazebrook, if you want to see a film where the action starts from scene 1, check out Underwater 2020 in 95 minutes long. I might do, yeah. I looked at the... because my film is, similar to the Shaun of the Dead, etc. Shaun of the Dead, you see a zombie, I think, within 7 or 12 minutes. It's pretty quick. Dr. Man Studio. For me, Galaxy Quest was the ultimate homage to Star Trek. Hot take. Something about Galaxy Quest I didn't like. Loved Alan Rickman. Loved Sigourney Weaver. Loved the alien designs. Didn't like the rest of the cast, and something about the show I didn't like. I don't know. I know it was supposed to be done, in a nice way, but I still felt it was taking the Michael out of the fans too much. But hey, each their own. Orville is very, very similar to that, I guess. But it doesn't take the mick out of the fans. What's next? We cast Hannah Clift as Benny, so I'm very chuffed. I can't wait to start working with her. June 8th, started a voiceover job on YouTube for a company called Marvelous Videos, where I was doing voiceovers, narration for all sorts of pop culture stuff, cartoons, Game of Thrones, what's it? Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings and all these other things. And I did over 100 videos for them. Not great money, but regular work. But if you know anything about me, as soon as I get into a routine, I start hating it. Okay, the 11th of June, I was still looking for an actress to play the character of Kells in Bloody Students, who's a kind of rock chick, punk chick type person. And I literally went to Instagram and searched for the hashtag Welsh actress, right? And because of that, one of the first people I came across was, if I can bring the picture up, there we go, Angharad L. Ford. Not only is she super attractive, she's gay, by the way, so, I'm not casting just because she's good looking. Beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, well, Anyway, I emailed Angharad Ford, asked her if she was up for Bloody Students, and it was, I could have gone through a lot of actresses, trying to get them to get interested and stuff, and Angharad jumped on it straight away. She was super enthusiastic. She sent me drawings of what she could be wearing, things about, does my character do this, and could she do that, and could she do this, and she's been sharing all the posts and stuff, and she's brought in money and all sorts of other stuff as well. I can't say enough good things about Angharad. She's absolutely awesome. She is another person. She's already won awards for acting, and I think she is going to move on to big things. I hope that she'll still be in Bloody Students, much like Mandy. But let's hope she'll still be in this film before she moves on to fame and fortune. Right. 14th. This is a good one. On the 14th, I said about if they wanted to, they would. On the 14th of June, I had a meeting with a video game company who seemed really interested in Bloody Students. They do not do video games in computer graphics. I mean, they do, but the main thing they do is interactive video. So it's interactive movies. I pitched them Bloody Students and told them all about it, and they made all the right noises. And since then, radio silence. I've had a couple of occasional replies to emails that said, email us next week, and then they don't reply. So again, if they wanted to, they would. So don't be coming back to me once I finish my film and saying, do you want us to make a video game about it? I'll be like, no. Where was the help? Okay, so just checking the chat. Dr. Mad Studio and Andy Glazebrook are talking about the films. Let the actors write their own backstories, aliens, etc. Yeah, I mean, whatever helps with the actors. And Angharad's helping with costume and other things, not just for her character, for other characters as well, which is, it's cool because an extra pair of hands is what I need. Okay, what's next? Oh, another kind of celebrity death. This was not... disclaimer, don't think it happened in 2022. But the chap in the middle, there's a very young me there. This chap here in the middle with the glasses, this chap here, Paul Fitzgerald. Now, you're not going to know who he is, but he was our tour manager when we were in the band. That's in a band. We were at Colchester Roller World in Essex many years, 1993, 94 that was. Paul was our tour manager for 2 years. I'd lost contact with him, but after we lost our record deal, he stayed in contact with me quite a bit, and he got me tickets to gigs. He got me he got me a graffiti stage work for Peter Andre and Blue. And in the last couple of years, he had cancer 3 times and beaten it twice. And he passed away probably in 2021, as far as I know. And it's a shame we didn't get back in touch with him. So, good old Fitzy, we shall miss you, mate. All right, what's next on the script? June the 18th, there was an event for us to go to, Bloody Students, called Invasion Taunton, which you may remember I went to recently, a month or so ago. This one should have taken place it did take place on the 18th of June, but at the last minute, the guy who was going to take us contracted COVID from his kids and wasn't able to take us, so we couldn't go to that one. On the 20th of June, I had a really interesting phone call with the son of a deceased author about novelising some of their works. It wasn't Douglas Adams, unfortunately. I wish it was. But it was something really big and really exciting that I've always wanted to do. He was all up for it. He seemed very happy with it. But because the author's deceased, you've got to go through lawyers and all sorts of other people. So I don't know if it's going to happen. Okay, last 2 in June. I went to the cinema on the 22nd of June to watch the George Michael documentary of his life. Very good film, very sad, as you can imagine. And I think I caught COVID for the first time, because I was very ill after that. On the 24th and 25th of June, I went to a local festival called Glaston Selfie, our Bloody Students will be helping to sponsor them next year. Who's back? David Nagel. Hi, David. I gave you a few shout-outs earlier in the opening monologue of all the people who've been helping out with Bloody Students, etc., etc. I'm currently going through the year's events, and we've just finished June. Like I said, on 24th and 25th of June, I went to this event, Glaston Selfie, which is a charity festival up here in Wales, and there's loads of cosplayers and there's bands and music and it's good fun, etc. And next year's is taking place in the end of June, the last weekend of June next year, and Jack Sparrow is coming back for that, and they always look after us. They're a great bunch of people, and it's a good charity, and Bloody Students are going to help sponsor that in exchange for some publicity and stuff, so we should raise some money that way. Let's look into July. I've already kind of done this, but we'll quickly go back to the photo. Where are my photos? Stick with me. I've got a script, David. I've got this 4-page script, and luckily we're on page 2. But you'll see it all if you're there. Yeah, so going back to this photo, on the... where are we? On the 1st of July, we announced the casting of Angharad Ford as Kells in Bloody Students. Like I said, I contacted her the previous month, and she just knocked me out with her enthusiasm, her acting tapes, everything. Like I said, she's going to be a big star. If she doesn't end up as, the next Master or Missy or Doctor Who companion, I'll be very surprised. She's already won awards, and I can't speak highly enough about Angharad. She's fantastic, and I'm very chuffed to have found her, to get her into the film, and she's really enthusiastic about it. What we got here? I'm reading your diary right now. Good friends of horror writer Ramsey Campbell. I met Ramsey Campbell once. If you like the works of Lovecraft or Blackwood, he's right up your street. Yes, I met Ramsey Campbell at FantasyCon in Nottingham, when they used to have it up in Nottingham, and I met him and Raymond E. Feist, and I met Neil Gaiman up there as well, and he was great, Neil Gaiman. In fact, they were all good. Ramsey Campbell was a nice old bloke. I don't know if he's still with us though. Is he? I don't know. Okay. What are we looking at? We're in July, aren't we? Another celebrity death. Let's get the pictures up. There he is. Celebrity death on July the 6th. The great James Caan, known for some tough guy roles, sort of mafia type thingies. But I will know him obviously from Rollerball and Alien Nation, two movies that are, sci-fi bent. James Caan was great. I always get him confused with who's the guy from THX 1138. I always get those two mixed up. But this is James Caan. He was in Alien Nation, and he was in Rollerball, the original Rollerball, before it was ruined by LL Cool J and the other chap. So that was James Caan. Like I say, I don't have. I have the date 6th of July, but I don't have the age he was when he went or the cause of death, unfortunately. Talking of sci-fi films, on the 9th of July, Tron celebrated its 40th anniversary, the original Tron. Oh, Ramsey's still with us. Good stuff. Robert Duvall, Andy, yes. I always get James Caan and Robert Duvall confused. I don't know why. But Tron celebrated its 40th anniversary on the 9th of July. There's been rumours of a next Tron film coming and going for the last few years. Disney lost all interest in that and the Black Hole when they bought Marvel and Star Wars. But Jared Leto came out and said he was going to be working on the next Tron film, and that seems to have fizzled out. But there's rumours now that it's going to start again. So fingers crossed. Love me a bit of Tron. One of my favourite films. Right. Oh, 2 more deaths in a row. Oh, goodness me. Let's try and find these. Where's the pictures? I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. This was another gutter. Writer Alan Grant. For those of you not in the know, Alan Grant was a Scottish writer who was co-creator of Judge Dredd. You'll know who Judge Dredd is. He also was the co-creator of another character who most people don't know, unless you're a certain age, of course. And I can just quickly grab this. Alan Grant helped create Doomlord. This is a Doomlord mask. It's actually it's a French gargoyle mask, but they use this for Doomlord as created by Alan Grant and John Wagner. John Wagner was the other creator of Judge Dredd, co-creator. So I had a few emails back in the day, around 2007, with Alan Grant. Really nice guy. I asked him about the possibility of making a Doomlord film, and he said he'd love to, but the character is in legal deadlock with the owners of the Eagle Comic or the Dan Dare Corporation, so may never see the light of day. And sadly, Alan Grant is now no longer with us. What have we got here? Tron, dead fortunate to met the late David Warner. Yeah, I would have loved to have met David Warner. There's me thinking it was some random thingy. What are you talking about, David? Oh, Tron, yes. Okay. Yeah, so next one in a row. Oh, on the 25th of July. If I find the picture. Where is it? Yes. 25th of July. The aforementioned David Warner, who was the bad guy in Tron, the bad guy in Time Bandits, the bad guy in basically everything. But he did play a version of the Doctor once on Big Finish, didn't he? He were great. Doomlord, yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, people of my ilk and my age will see the picture of Doomlord, the Doomlord mask, and go, "Oh wow, Doomlord! That gave me nightmares as a kid." So But yeah, David Warner went on the 25th of July. Okay, I'm really getting to the point where I might need to have a break and have a drink and have a wee. But let's keep going. Just check my stream is still going. Yeah, 1 hour 39. I'm not good at this, but at least we still got 4 viewers. It's not like some of these people are making fortunes and getting 2,500 views. But anyway, so that was David Warner. On the 26th of July, I bought a new microphone. This one. It wasn't that expensive, but it was about 30 quid, which is a lot better than my £12 one. And the £12 one was a lot better than the £3 one I used to use. So we're slowly going up. Dr. Mad Studio says, met John Wagner and Carlos Ezquerra once at Wales Comic Con. Carlos passed away back in 2018. Yeah, Carlos was an amazing artist. Had his own style, very, very strange. Very different, and it changed over time. It started off, he's doing all the Strontium Dog stuff, and then it kind of his designs for Dredd evolved, especially after the Stallone film. It changed. Yeah, he was a great artist. I didn't realize he was at Wales Comic Con. I knew John Wagner was there, but I didn't realize Carlos was there. Wow. Okay, what's next? Only Dredd has been made into a movie. Yeah, there was the fan film of Strontium Dog, which was good fun. But yeah, the 2000 AD is ripe for an entire cinematic universe, isn't it? Durham Red, ABC Warriors, Robusters, which was not strictly 2000 AD, but Anyway, let's get through this. Oh, another celebrity death. Can you guess? 28th of July. 28th of July. This one hit a lot of people. The late great Bernard Cribbins. Known in Doctor Who circles as PC Tom Campbell in the Peter Cushing movies, but known to the rest of us as Wilf in the new Who series with David Tennant, etc. But also, to me, he was the Wombles. He was the voice of all the Wombles, and he was in a few Carry On films, and he was in lots of other things like The Plank, and he was in what was that one with the black and white show? That was the week that was, possibly. With John Cleese and Ronnie Corbett. Yeah, so that was a hard one for everyone. Bernard Cribbins finally went, but he did film something for Doctor Who, which we should see early next year. Okay, 29th of July. I've been on the giffgaff mobile network for 11 years. Only when I joined 11 years ago, I had a very slightly dodgy week or so where the signal wasn't working properly. They were getting set up. They run on the O2 network, but they're super affordable. I've never had any problems. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Right Said Fred. Yes, he did that song. Right Said Fred. Don't get a copyright strike in YouTube. Bernard was lovely when we met him a few years back. Told my son at the time that if we gave him our address, he'd send along a personal autograph, and lo and behold, he did. Fantastic gent. Yeah. Always wanted Cribbins, Tom Campbell connection to you series. Yeah, if he was not Wilf, if he was just like, Tom Campbell, and as soon as he saw Dalek, he went, this takes me back to when I was a young man. That kind of thing would have been great. Old school Harlan girl, Vicky. I love Bernard Cribbins. Yeah, who didn't? I don't think anyone didn't. Okay, nearly at the end of that. 29th, another celebrity death. Sorry, it all seems to be celebrity deaths at the moment. Let's quickly find a picture. There she is. Yeah, the 29th. Pat Carroll. The only thing I mean, she had a long career, but she was known as the voice of Ursula in the Little Mermaid animated film. She had that raspy voice. She looks nothing like the voice of Ursula. I was thinking of someone like Divine, if you know who Divine is. But she was a singer, so obviously she did that Poor Unfortunate Soul song, which was great. So she went on the 29th. 30th for me was a nice night out in Cardiff. My mate Richie, who was in a band with me, I wonder if I can bring a photo up. Can't even find the photo. Where's the photo? Come on. Go through all the pictures. I should have been deleting these photos as we go along. It makes it easier to skim through them, shouldn't it? Yeah, so quickly pop up there. This good looking chap up the top here looks like a young Peter Andre. Richie is now a music promoter and a music producer as well. And he and my buddy Sanjay here were at Richie's 90s R&B and soul night called You Remind Me, which has been running for a good few years. 3 or 4 years, I think. And this was their last one for a long time because they had to change venues. They're looking for a new venue now. But always a great night, all night listening to 80s swing, soul, reggae, funk, a little bit of hip hop. What a night. So yeah, nice to catch up with those two. So that was 3/5 of my band reunited there in Cardiff. So hopefully they get another venue soon, so I can go strut my funky stuff to some 90s tunes. And the last celebrity death in July, another one that hit everybody. I tell you what, I'm going to start deleting some of the ones that we've already seen. Excuse you more. Here we go. The late great Nichelle Nichols. Andy's off. Okay, no worries, mate. And you had a photo taken with him of Bernard Cribbins. Oh, brilliant. Never met him. I wish I had. Orinoco was my favourite Womble because he was always sleeping, which is like I do. But yeah, Nichelle Nichols, obviously known for her groundbreaking role as Lieutenant Uhura, seen there in the 60s. I'm not aware of other stuff she's done. I know she has done other stuff other than Star Trek. But, there was the story about her wanting to quit. She wasn't sure about being in the show until she had a visit from Dr. Martin Luther King, who said to her, "Are you crazy? Do you know how many people want to see a woman of colour on television? You're doing, God's work, as it were." So that really got her going, and she passed away, which is always a shame. But she had a good innings, and she would be known as probably one of the first ladies of sci-fi, which is cool. Right, that's July done with. Now we're into August. August the 1st, I decided to do a month-long fundraiser for Bloody Students. You had a photo taken with Richie or Sanjay? Richie, probably. Everyone wants photos of Richie because he's good looking. August, we did a month-long fundraiser for Bloody Students. Didn't raise much, but, it just goes to show that when you've got people behind you sharing all the posts and stuff, you do raise money. And I got to take my hat off to Jeff Logan, who's playing 40 in the film, and Angharad, who I've talked about a lot in this video. They did a lot of sharing and brought in money because they just said, "Look, I'm in this film. Please help us make it so I can act." Okay, Glazy, I will catch you later. We've only got 4 months to go, and that's it. Okay, so on the 3rd, I should have to bring a photo up here. Pictures, where's the pictures? Doobie. I'm just going to bring up the pictures. Open file location. Alrighty then. So we cast Finley Garrett as Tim. Very hard to find an actor for Tim. We had a number of people audition and send in their tapes and stuff. But Tim had to have a couple of things about him. He had to be quite short compared to Angharad because he's playing Angharad's little brother. He had to look quite young. And he physically looks a bit like her, like he could be brother. Vicky, you'll have to show me the best shot photos because, I've got a handful of photos and I don't know if the rest of the guys have, but it'd be nice to see some from a different person's perspective that I haven't looked at over the last 30 years, you know what I mean? So Finley sent in his audition tapes, thought he was great, and he can believably come across as Angharad or Kel's, the character Kel's little brother. So I think he'll be great in the film. So I'm looking forward to working with him too. As Nichelle Nichols again. Alrighty. What's next? We're nearly done. Yeah, 4th of August. Fingers crossed Finley doesn't age between now and the first filming. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's getting beards and having really short hair. And I'm like, Finn, you need to grow your hair long, and I want everyone clean shaven, including the girls in the filming. 4th of August, I finally put all of Marvin on and had a walk around and realised how heavy and uncomfortable it is. But it was great to try it all out. And then the next day, 2 days later, we went to the Wales Comic Con and I won first prize in the cosplay competition. Won 500 quid, went straight into the film. Very hot day. I was giggity. I was sweating and dying in that thing. The leg came apart. It was cutting into my leg. My shoulders were killing me. Everything was aching. I was sweating. I couldn't breathe hardly. Definitely couldn't go toilet. Couldn't have a drink. I was in there for about 5 hours. It was torture, but it was worth it because I won the first prize. So that was cool. What next? Another celebrity date. 8th of August. 8th of August. Hang on, let's remove Nichelle Nichols. 8th of August, here we go. Olivia Neutron Bomb. G'day, USA. Yeah. Obviously, I'm a clubhead. Mole in Sweden. Is this mole as in Mike? And you're in Sweden. Wow, okay. Well, yeah, great. Nice to see you. Yeah, Olivia Neutron Bomb. She's been in so much stuff, had an amazing voice. Obviously, back in the day, the 80s and the 70s, people saw her as a bit cheesy, but she had a massive singing career. She was an absolute babe, especially in things like Grease. When I was growing up, I was like, John Travolta's cool, but Olivia Newton-Bomb is hot. And then she went into, things like the Let's Get Physical single, very hot. And also Xanadu with ELO doing the most of the music. Cheesy film, very cheesy film, but great fun. And she had Welsh family. I think she was born in Cardiff, somewhere off St Mary Street, near where Forbidden Planet is, actually. I think she lived there briefly as a kid. So that was her. And two more celebrity deaths coming up. So let's get rid of Olivia. Who have we got left? What are we looking at? Yes. Come on. Here's the first one. What date was it? 12th of August. Anne Hesh. Anne Hesh was an absolute stunner as well. Yes, Olivia Newton-John was a lovely lady. She had an amazing voice. I really liked her voice. But Anne Hesh died sadly in I think it was a car crash. Yeah, I was shocked when Olivia would be battling cancer. You don't hear about it. It's kept very quiet. And Anne Hesh was sadly, apparently was driving under the influence and crashed and died. Which was she was in the remake of Psycho, wasn't she? So yes, another one died long before time and quite tragically, unfortunately. That was Anne Hesh. Who was next? Nearly there. Hang on. Just deleting some of the ones we've already covered. Nearly there. I've lost them. Where are they? Here we are. Wolfgang Petersen. Clearly German director. He went on the 16th of August. I don't profess to be a big expert on him, but I think he did Das Boot. I know he definitely did one of my favourite sci-fi movies, Enemy Mine, with Dennis Quaid and the best alien ever to be put on TV. Glazy, you might have to help me with this if you're still there. Oh, I've got a name in my head, but I can't think it's the right person. I need to check my DVDs briefly. Where is this DVD? I should just Google it, shouldn't I? Really? Talk amongst yourselves. Hang on. Yes. I did have the right name. Louis Gossett Jr. In fact, I'll bring the DVD out so you can see it. Let's knock this off. Wolfgang Petersen also directed Enemy Mine. If you've not seen this film, see it. It's great. So you've got Dennis Quaid here, who plays a space warrior called Willis Davidge, and he ends up crashed on a planet with this alien called Jariba Shigan. What else did he direct? Neverending Story and Air Force One. Get off my plane. Yeah, there you go. Enemy Mine is a classic. It's actually a remake, a kind of reworking of the Burt Lancaster film Hell in the Pacific, which was, I think, I'm not sure if it was black and white, but it's about an American and a Japanese soldier who get shot down on an island and have to work together, even though they hate themselves. Enemy Mine, like I said, I forget who did the makeup. It was quite a low budget. I think it was a German production as well. But the alien creature, Jariba, or Jerry as he's called in the film, I think it's one of the best aliens ever put on screen. Up there with Predator, because Louis Gossett is completely unrecognizable, and he invented his own way of speaking for the alien. So, how awesome was that? Really good film. I have to watch that again, I think. Okay, so just going to check there. Okay, I'm going to cut to this. I'm going to put a bit of music on for a second. I'm going to play you our biggest hit, Best Shot United Colors, which got to number 64 in January 1994. So, quite a while, 30 years ago. I still like it. It's an anti-racism anthem by all five of us, and it sounds a bit like this.
Try to stop this, but that ain't right. People getting killed over color. They're trying to tell me no, the color can't be my brother. But I stay colorblind and I try to find a way like on vote to get it across and try to free your mind. I'm coming rough and rugged, regardless of my color. Tell you to your face, there's a way I'm undercover. Coming up strong with my boys making noise. And freak forward, you see you got the real McCoys. For those who refuse to understand or comprehend, we're in this together from the beginning to the end. So, wake up, it's time to use your brain. Colors only, skin deep and our blood runs the same.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just had a horrible thought that I might get a copyright strike for that song, because the actual video for it is actually on YouTube. Yeah, you can still. I'm one of those. I'm J.R. Hartley constantly goes onto eBay and Discogs and picks up copies of my own songs. I tell you what, though, Vic, if you know anyone who's got a cassette single of United Colours, I pay good money for that because you just can't get cassette singles. But if you go to the United Colours video, either the one I think it's the one I've uploaded, someone has commented underneath years ago saying, I've got the cassette single of this, and I said, well, you know, if you want to sell it, I'll buy it, because I can't get the cassette single of it. I've got all the formats of our other song. I've even got a test pressing of United Colours. I've got two test pressings of United Colours, 12-inch, but I don't have a cassette single. I wish I did. Anyway. Yeah, YouTube and its nonsensical rules. Yeah, it's excuse you while drink some water here. No, yeah, it's really annoying because you play more than a few seconds of a snippet of anything, and sometimes you get not a copyright strike, but you get warned, or they'll mute the music, or as I did the other day when I played a little bit of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, just a 30-second clip, it said it will be blocked, so it's just not encouraging people to want to use the platform, you know what I mean? Anyway, United Colours was our song. It was great because we started writing that because we were naturally a 5-piece multicultural, multiracial band, and we weren't manufactured like a lot of bands like Take That were. The CD single, 7-inch and a few 12-inches. Yeah, there were two 12-inches. There was the one with the photos of us all on the cover, and another one with just arrows on the cover. That was like the test pressing or the club only version. I don't know if I've got a 7-inch single of United Colours. I might have somewhere. It's probably one of my boxes. I should frame it up somewhere, shouldn't I, really? I haven't got any best shot stuff up here. It's downstairs in the living room in frames. Yeah, the BNP managed to get one of their members into Parliament. So there was a big worry about, basically Nazis by another name. But what we really, really did like is we decided to do a photo shoot with all 5 of us wrapped around this giant Union Jack, Union flag, how you want to say it. And that really annoyed the neo-Nazis. And apparently in the... I don't know how they found out, but someone told us that the Combat 18 group, the sort of fascist group, put our picture in their newsletter saying, watch out for this lot, they're causing trouble with their racial diversity and racial harmony song. So we were quite chuffed about that. We ended up playing a gig in Cardiff for the Anti-Racist Alliance and the Anti-Nazi League, who put together a fundraising night for their causes. So we were quite proud to be the headline act for that. So we did United Colours about 3 times that night. Okay, so let's quickly look back at our thing. Where were we? We were Wolfgang Peterson was the last one. Right, okay, I'll try and get through this a little bit quicker. 17th of August, the She-Hulk TV series finally started. I thought it was pretty bad. I only watched it because it was... I'm just waiting for Daredevil to show up, and he was okay. Then, on the 19th, the return to the cinemas of Star Trek The Motion Picture, which I love. Got a couple of versions of it here, down on the DVD racks here. Really like that. That was back in the thing, so I went with my music producer Lennis to go see Star Trek The Motion Picture. We had seen The Wrath of Khan, I think, the same year. Maybe later on in the year. What next? 25th of August, I made a solo trip all the way to Swansea for the B&B and everything to see Haxon, the rock group whose poster is there. Haxon are the 3-piece girl band who are providing the theme song for Bloody Students called Skeletons, which I've been playing quite a lot on my social media. Love them girls. Their album is all killer, no filler. Really good rock tunes. What next? 27th, the Cardiff International Tattoo Con was cancelled. I was rushing to get Marvin finished for that, and it got cancelled because there were venue problems. It wasn't all the organisers' fault. The venues kept changing dates and saying they weren't available and stuff. So he had no choice but to sort of throw his hands up and say, we're just going to have to do it again next year. After 2 years of cancellations from the lockdown and the pandemic, not a lot of people are very happy with the fact that it got cancelled because they lost out deposits and stuff. But he's doing his best to pay everyone off, and hopefully next year the Tattoo Con is coming up. I've got it written down here at the end of August. And I've asked Steve, instead of doing, the theme was going to be cosmic, so that's why Marvin was going to be there, because I host it every year. And this year's theme, I said, Steve, change the theme from cosmic to pirates, and we shall bring back Cardiff Jack Sparrow. Savvy? And he was very happy about that. Okay. This is going to be an interesting one. The 30th of August, I decided. A number of myself and someone else decided that I needed a 5-year plan. You know, people have a 5-year plan. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And although I can't go into details, but what I'm hoping is by the 30th of August 2027, I will be in a completely different place, financially, socially, geographically, emotionally, everything. Hopefully a good place. But definitely a different place. If it all goes the way I want, I'll have made Bloody Students. I'll be happy with it. I'll have had a number of projects sort of started and finished, and I will be looking at the rest of my life in a very positive light. So you've heard it here. 30. You've got another 4 years to wait before we see if that comes to fruition. But I'll mention it occasionally. I've decided to make a plan for the next 5 years. On the 30th, I'm going to get back to photos in a second. Where's my folder? Oh, wrong folder. That's the folder. Just a second. Okay. So on the 30th of August, we had the death of Mikhail Gorbachev. Obviously a Russian premier, I think they called them then, when it was called the CCCP or the Soviet Union. Now it's just called Russia. But during the Soviet Union, there was a Cold War going on with the States, and Ronald Reagan, etc., didn't get on with his predecessor. I think that was Cheryenko. But Mikhail Gorbachev was a younger leader. He was very forward-thinking. He was very into peace. He invented he kind of coined the terms glasnost and perestroika, which is something along the lines of cooperation and peace. So he and Reagan worked together to do a lot of nuclear disarmament. And although he did try his best, as most Russians would, to cover up the whole debacle with Chernobyl, he's generally remembered as a decent bloke and one of the best leaders that Russia has had. So that's Gorby. Let's get into September. Only 2 deaths in September. But September the 1st, we finished the August fundraiser for Bloody Students. We raised 650 quid. Which isn't that good, really, because 500 quid of that was from me. So we raised about £150. But, you know, as things move on, hopefully with an Indiegogo, as I talked about in January, if we do an Indiegogo next year, we'll get some complete strangers interested in the film. We'll raise some more money that way. I'm still going to be putting in whatever I can. I think to date I've contributed about at least £5,000 of my own cash into the film. So I'm the biggest investor in my own film, as you can imagine. I should be. So this is just in case any anonymous trolls think I'm a con man, as I've been accused of many times. I'm throwing as much money as I possibly can, and I'm not forcing anyone to give me their money. I'm asking politely, and I'm saying if you want to get involved, I'll be very grateful, but I'm not forcing anyone. So it's not like I'm putting a gun to anyone's head, okay? Loads of films are made this way. Anyway, okay, time for another cast member. Cast member. Where's the folder? Here we are. Let's go back to the cast. Where's he gone? There he is. Okay. Caerphilly lad, Ben Candy. Great name, Ben Candy. He was cast as Gag, who's a bit of a thug, a bit of a nasty person. But he's a great guy. I met Ben many years ago for auditions and stuff. And we have shot something for Bloody Students with him recently, which hopefully will be seen next year as a sort of promo piece. But we cast Ben as Gag. So that was great. Let's knock that off again. Close that one. Okay, so we're nearly there. Who's next? Okay, so yeah, on the 8th, we had the biggest celebrity death of the year. The biggest celebrity death, if I can bring it up. Any guesses? The biggest celebrity death of the year? Her Madge, Liz, Queen Elizabeth. Very unexpectedly, social media started going wild, going, "Queen's going to die today." I'm like, what? All the family are being called to her bedside. I was like, wow. Now we have a king, King Charles III, which feels weird because most of us all our lives were brought up with Queen Elizabeth on the coins and on the notes, and now it's all King Charles. So she had a good innings as well. Fair play to her. Okay, knock that off. So then I was just talking about Ben Candy, and on the 14th of September we filmed a short promo piece. So that was the first bit of filming for Bloody Students down in Caerphilly in a park. A little promo piece which hopefully we'll edit together and get that sorted once we shoot a couple more. On the 17th I went out again, my third pub crawl of the year, Caerphilly again. I think we made it to 7 pubs and then gave up. We all wanted kebabs, so that was fun. On the 23rd I finally got to see George Michael tribute act Rob Lamberti. I'm a big fan of George Michael, obviously, as you know, and Rob Lamberti looks and sounds just like him. It was a great show. The only thing that annoys me about tribute acts, I mean, I saw the Prince one as well that year, is that people in the crowd who are not that interested just come along and they just talk all the way through the show because they're like, it's not the real thing, so we can disrespect them by talking over the whole act, which I don't like. Spoils the show for everyone else. Well, we've still got 3 viewers, so thank you for staying with us. If you're watching this on the catch up, the live chat should be rolling up the side, but thank you for staying this long. It's a long one for me, 2 hours. I feel like I'm doing a long video every Tuesday when I get into 20 minutes, and this is like 2 hours, so a lot of waffling, but we got a bit more to cover. Let's carry on. 25th, I did some artwork for a rock band up here called Raider. They're a sort of 80s style rock band, fronted by a guy called Mike Platt, who was on The Voice. He was on Tom Jones's team a few years ago. I think it was around 2010, maybe a bit later, I'm not sure. But they're a great band, Raider. I've done a number of pieces of artwork for them, so they've got their albums are selling really well. I'm scooping through to look for some more celebrity deathage. Who else did we lose this year? Obviously, on the 28th of September, we lost Coolio, the Gangster's Paradise guy. He was a lot older than a lot of people remember. When he had his big hit with Gangster's Paradise, everyone was like, what, he's in his 40s? Because all we were used to rappers being in their 20s. But yeah, he used to be a fireman, apparently, firefighter in the States. But he had a massive career. Very, very, I can't remember the exact details of his death, but it was a big shock to everybody that he went as young as he did. So that was not Coolio. Right. On the 30th of September, it's the last entry for September, I downloaded and did the BBC Maestro course, which is a bit like Masterclass. I did the Edgar Wright one, obviously because I'm making a film that's hopefully going to be something like an Edgar Wright movie. So Edgar Wright's one of my favourite directors, so I did the Edgar Wright BBC Maestro course, which, to be honest, I managed to get a discount code to download it. And although I can watch Edgar Wright talk about, read the phone book or whatever, he's that entertaining, it didn't feel like a course as such. It didn't really feel like it taught me anything apart from reminding me of the genius he is in his films. Anyway, October. Let's get into October. October the 1st, back to Bloody Students casting. Oh, not that one. That one. Cast. Where are we? Here he is. So, we cast Devante Fleming as Cameron. I've never met him before. I probably found him through either not Mandy.com, people I know, and Instagram and stuff like that. He's done quite a few things. He's doing a podcast at the moment, and Devante was very keen. He's Cardiff-based actor. He's very keen to be involved with Bloody Students, and I bumped into him. I've never met him in real life, but I bumped into him in a shop last week. He strode past me in a bright yellow long coat. I'm like, that's a snazzy coat. And as he turned around, I went, that's Devante. And we had a brief chat about Crimbo, and really keen to see him in the film. He's a great actor by the looks of it, and I think I'm really happy with the crew I've got at the moment. Okay, back to the script. We still got 4 people watching. Hello, 4 people. We're currently going through the year, and we're in October now, so we won't be too long. On the 2nd of October, we decided to open a Bloody Students TikTok account, but I didn't want to get into that and upload stuff. So although I make the videos, I email them to my friend BB Martin, and she basically uploads them for me. So thanks, BB, for that. On the 3rd, more Bloody Students casting. On the 3rd, let's just bring a picture up. Who are we looking for? I've forgotten again. Yes. Oh, I don't know if I have pictures. Let's just check. Where is he? Yes, we do. Okay, not webcam off. Leon Davis. He's one of our creature performers. He's an actor and a model, as far as I'm told, and he is extremely tall, way over 6 foot, and he'll be one of our mummies. A lot of these actors will be doubling up, so when their mummy gets taken out, they'll just play another mummy. So we have a number of actors who'll do that. So looking forward to meeting him as well. Okay, what's next? On the 4th, I went to Radio Cardiff to speak to Kerry Stennett, son of the great actor Stan Stennett, about my children's book, Monsters Next Door, which came out last year, but it's coming out again. It's been reprinted. And I talked a bit about Bloody Students. On the 10th of October, I gave up my YouTube voiceover job for Marvelous Videos. A number of reasons. One is, as you notice, I talk quite fast, and they were asking me to slow down. But when I'm doing between 10 and 20,000 word scripts every morning for the last 100 days, it takes a long time. It was taking me about 5 hours, 6 hours to do a script, and they were asking me to slow it down. And if I slowed it down anymore, it would take another 2 or 3 hours on top. And in the end, I said, you know what, guys, thanks for all the work, but I don't think I could keep going. Now, again, when I do too much stuff, I get into a rut and I get into a routine. And if it starts becoming problematic, I'd rather just remove myself from the situation, as I have done this year and will continue to do next year in all arenas. Okay, we've got another celebrity death here. I'm just going to bring up a photo. This one hit quite a few people as well. Where are they? Ah, yes, there they are. It's the great Angela Lansbury, as everyone will know from Murder, She Wrote and Beauty and the Beast, where she played Mrs. Potts. And I only just noticed She must have been a rapper because she's got a cool ass rope chain. So that was Angela Lansbury. Obviously, had a very long innings and was a big star for many years. Okay, we're almost out of celebrity deaths, which is weird, but there you go. Okay, on the 12th. 12th was a big date. We finally exported Offworld. The film and all the files had gone up to Danny with her and her husband went through it and did some final tweaks to the sound and exported it in full resolution, etc., ready for the distributor. Unfortunately, we thought it would be a walk in the park after that, because what's needed then is to send the film plus a load of supporting material, trailers and documentaries and interviews and all sorts of other stuff to the distributor. But there's still a lot that needs doing on my side and Danny's side, and we just haven't been able to get our heads together. But we're hoping now that 2023. I mean, I feel like an idiot because I've said this for about the last 6 years.
I'm sure that next year will be the final year when we get it all done.
But there is literally, we've been crawling along. Every couple of months we get a little bit further to the finish line. And although Offworld the movie is done now, yes, Dr. Mad Studio in the chat says, thanks again for that sneak peek of Offworld. If you were joining us on Christmas Day, I played a little bit of Offworld. You can't find it on my channel. I've had to delete the video because I don't want to get in trouble with the distributors or anyone else. I just streamed a little bit of the film so people could see how it begins and how it's beginning to look, and a couple of people saw it and said, hey, that's cool, so we're getting there. So honestly, we're so close to just sending everything off now. It's not a case of finishing the film, it's just gathering stuff together onto a hard drive and sending it. So hopefully we'll get back onto that. I know Danny's had a heck of a lot of stuff on, good and bad, the end of this year. So, I'm sure we'll touch base at some point and just get it all done. The final push. So that was cool. That was on the 12th of October. Also on the 12th, I mentioned Angharad quite a lot in this video, actually. Angharad Ford, who plays Kells. She came into Cardiff. I met her for the first time, and we shot a similar Bloody Students promo piece, much like Ben Candy's one. And I need to shoot a couple more of those before I can edit them all together. So we'll have a Bloody Students promotional set of promotional shorts. And thanks to the Candy Jar guys and the Purple Hat Films guys for shooting that for us. And, we'll have some video footage then for the Indiegogo as well. What we got here? Celebrity death on the 14th. On the 14th of October, yes, the very great Robbie Coltrane, as you can see on the right there. For most people, he'll always be known as Hagrid, but when you're old like me, you'll know him from Blackadder and The Young Ones and all sorts of, the comic strip presents. Cracker was one of his big detective show things. He played a psychologist actually called Cracker. Cracker I think was just his nickname, wasn't it? His name was Fitz, but they called him Cracker because he's like a nutcracker. He was great. Robbie Coltrane, very edgy to begin with, very quite aggressive really. But when people saw him as he got older and he did Hagrid, people saw the nice side of Robbie Coltrane. So yes, he went on the 14th of October. Now on the 15th of October, I went to see the new Purple Celebration, which is the Prince tribute act. It's a big band. It's like a 7 or 8, 9-piece band, all live instruments. They play all the hits and some slightly rarer hits. And the lead singer Jimmy Plays guitar like nobody's business. Very, very good guitarmanship. I don't know. And when you hear him sing, he does sound like Prince. He's not trying to be Prince. He's not trying to dress up, or he's not wearing a wig or anything silly like that. But it's just a live band doing the music of Prince, and it sounds. You close your eyes, it sounds like Prince. So really enjoyed that. I did lose my debit card at the bar, which saved me from buying drinks at £6 a pint. So there was that. What next? 25th of October, Black Adam came out. To be honest, the only reason I went to see Black Adam was because Henry Cavill makes an appearance at the end. And we all know how that turned out. And now it looks like Black Adam's not even getting a sequel. So everything's all up in the air with DC at the moment. And The Rock is between a rock and a hard place. So is Henry, by the way. Right, what's next? A celebrity death, the last one in October. Let me just quickly pull a picture up. Must be getting there. Here we go. This was the musician Jerry Lee Lewis. Famous for two things. Obviously playing the piano and kicking the chair away and singing Great Balls of Fire. That's the one thing. The other thing, apparently, he was quite... I don't know if he was a wife beater. He was a little bit aggressive. I don't want to sort of slander him without checking his Wikipedia page, but I know he had that side of a personality to him. But again, rock legend of the ilk of people like Buddy Holly and Elvis Presley, etc. He was a southerner, and he was quite a hardcore dude. But obviously people will always remember, goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire. Now on the 30th of October, more bloody student stuff. I went back to my hometown, only a mile away, on a Sunday night to have a look at a community centre that I spent many a night in breakdancing, learning my trade. Let's see if I can get a picture up here. Where is it? I mean, originally I wanted... oh, that's a good picture. That'll do. Originally I wanted a bigger place in Newport, which is more like a museum, but it's becoming cost prohibitive. Unless we make a lot of money, Dr. Mad Studio, the granddad was a big rock and roll fan. Yeah, my parents obviously like Jerry Lewis and Jerry Lee Lewis, sorry, not Jerry Lewis, and you know the 50s and 60s sort of rockers. But unless we make a lot of money next year on an Indiegogo or fundraising for the film, we're not going to get to film in the places I really, really want to film in. So I looked at a cheaper alternative, which was to hire a hall and build my sets within the hall. So this is the community centre. It's not gone off. This is the community centre that I spent many a Wednesday night in learning to breakdance. There used to be windows, as you can see down the side here. I mean, it doesn't always have a wrestling ring. That's just been there for an event. But the windows used to go all the way down to the floor, but they've sort of halved them up now. But I reckon there's enough room in here, plus side rooms. There's a little shop area in the corner, which is handy for the film. There's, from the viewpoint of this camera, there are 3 or 4 other rooms as well, which they've gave me the run of the place. Really long days, like 16-hour days, and a really, really low hourly rate. So we'll save a fortune. So all I've got to do is get together and build some fake walls and doors and stuff, which I think we can probably do. So hopefully we're going to get the film made anyway. We'll think of a way of doing it. Don't worry. Okay then. So how are we looking on the script? October is done. 2 months left. Let me have a quick check on the chat, etc. 3 people still watching. Brilliant. Thanks for staying with me. Nearly there. November. November. I did a thing on my YouTube channel called The Experiment, which was me staying off junk food and existing on fruit and veg for a month. I managed 10 solid days before I ordered a pizza. But then I got back in the saddle, and by the end of November, I'd lost some weight. which is good. I'll tell you when we get to the end. On the 4th of November, I finished draft 5 of Bloody Students, which is here. Like I said earlier on, it's a lot shorter, a lot funnier, and I hope it'll be the one I'll be storyboarding and filming. Celebrity death on the 7th of November. You might not know who this is. This is Kevin O'Neill. He did all this artwork in the background. He was a 2000 AD artist for many years, one of my favourite artists. And I wish I'd got to meet him. I met a couple of others, but he's one of the guys I really wish I'd met, Kev O'Neill. And he passed away on the 7th. Now, there was another celebrity death on the same day. This is a chap I did manage to meet. Leslie Phillips, ding dong. Famous for being posh and a little bit lecherous back in the day in his films. You know, a sort of slight cad, bit of a gent, but a slight of a, oh, hello, that kind of thing. I did meet him a few years ago, very, very briefly. I was doing some extra work outdoors in a quarry, which, by the way, coincidentally, was one of the places we wanted to film Off-World in, but we couldn't afford it. They wanted a lot of money. But this was Treville Quarry up the valleys, and Leslie Phillips turned up with Samantha Bond, Miss Moneypenny in the Pierce Brosnan films, I think it was. And he was, oh, hello, how are you? Oh, I see, what are you doing and stuff. He was a nice old guy, fair play to him. You know, huge career from the black and white days onwards. Okay, nearly there. Excuse you what? 8th of November, I hit 200 subscribers on YouTube, which is absolute peanuts. It's not even enough to monetize your videos. You have to have 1,000 subscribers minimum to monetize your videos. Not like it was back in the day. But 200 is good for me. I'm chuffed. I wish I could, if I could get another 200 by next year, that'd be great. But I think I'll get a few more subscribers as the film comes together, and also when I start doing Jack Sparrow a bit more. Because when I did Jack Sparrow in the past, I had around 600 subscribers or something, and they all dropped off when I said I wasn't doing Jack Sparrow anymore. Talk about rats leaving a sinking ship, right? 11th of November, Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2 came out. Was not a big fan. It was all right. Obviously, it was lacking Chadwick Boseman, the late Chadwick Boseman. I felt they should have recast the Black Panther character with someone else to continue his legacy. And the film was a bit dumb in quite a few places. And it gave us the first look at Namor, or as they pronounce it in the film, Namor. But they've changed. Namor in the comics is basically Spock with muscles, and he's from Atlantis. But because Aquaman's from Atlantis, which is DC, they decided to make him a sort of... Oh, I see some messages. My other granddad from my mum's side was a teddy boy, quite the rebel. Died from a brain hemorrhage in June 1993. Oh, that's a shame. But he did live long enough to see me. Oh man, that's harsh. No, keep chatting, man. The more interactions, the better. There's still 3 people hanging on to see what I'm waffling about. If you are one of the other 2 people, I'm assuming it's Vicky and I don't know who else. Say hello. There's someone lurking, so say hello. It'd be nice to hear from you. What were we saying about? Yeah, so the Submariner, or the Submariner, Namor, in the comics is basically, think Zachary Quinto, Spock with muscles, but they made him more of a kind of a Aztec Inca type guy, just to sort of, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great. I think a bit of a missed opportunity there. Okay. Oh, another heavy celebrity death. This one hit a lot of people for a number of reasons. Anthony Lovesy, hi, how you doing? Okay, so now we know. We're nearly finished, by the way. So stick with me. We've just got December to do. Another celebrity death, a big one that hit a lot of people hard. On the 11th of November, Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. Yeah, longest serving Batman actor, out of all of them. I know he just did the voice, but you know what I mean. And Vicky, you're still here. That's good. Thank you. And yeah, obviously for most people, he was the voice of Batman. He was Batman. You could hear his voice in everything. I got a role playing Batman in an audio series, which is still online, called World's Greatest Detective. And I beat a load of Americans to the audition to play Batman, simply because every American was doing Christian Bale. They're all doing, "My name's Batman. Why so serious?" and all that kind of stuff, trying to sound like Christian Bale. And I did, "I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman." I did my best Kevin Conroy, and I had to do Bruce Wayne, who sounded slightly more charming. So I was quite chuffed to get the role of Batman, and obviously gutted when Kevin Conroy. The animated series was amazing, you're right. And again, great innings, great legacy, big bucket of win, as Kevin Smith would say, and you will be missed. So that was Kevin Conroy. Then I sold Marvin on the 21st. I'd come back from Liverpool empty-handed. It cost me a lot of money to get there and back, on petrol and everything else. Didn't win the competition prize of £1,000, but I lucked out. I managed to, with the help of a few people, I managed to sell Marvin to the National Film and Sci-Fi Museum in Milton Keynes, where he's currently on display. I might have a photo of him here. Do I? Yes, I do. Here we go. So there's Jason Joyner, who runs the museum. In the background are some more sci-fi things, but that's my Marvin on display at the Museum of Film and Sci-Fi. I can't wait to go up and see him. So that was nice, and obviously I had a decent payment for him, and threw most of that into Bloody Students. Jason is very happy, so his wife very happy with Marvin, to have a Marvin finally. And who else have we got here? A couple more things. Okay. Right. Just finishing off November. Also on the 21st, the day I sold Marvin, we also lost singer Irene Cara. I won't pretend to know I know her from anything other than the song Fame, but she had a long career. I think she was an actress as well as a singer. I can't name anything other than Fame, but I mean, if you're going to be known for one song, how iconic is that? Fame, I Want to Live Forever. Unfortunately, she never did. But R.I.P. Irene Cara. You will be missed. Okay, so on the 26th, we finally got to Taunton. The Invasion Taunton event in Taunton Central Library. Met up with a couple of friends of mine from the UK Garrison in costume, and me and the Candy Jar guys were there. We sold and raffled a heck of a lot of toys and gifts and giveaways and stuff. Irene Cara, yeah, she, classic disco vocals, really powerful singer. But yeah, we raised about 130 quid in Taunton. 30 quid of that went on food for the guys and petrol. But 100 quid of that went straight into the Bloody Students account. So that was a good day, actually. I've always liked Somerset. I used to be down there quite a bit, and I just like Taunton. I like Somerset. A nice part of the country. Many thanks to Mike Allwood for setting up that, and he'll be having more events there at some point. Okay, on the 27th, the day after, on a Sunday, I went to Stars of Time in Weston-super-Mare again, dressed as Doomlord. So I just whacked a suit and tie on and put the Doomlord mask on. Nobody knew who in fact, one or two people recognised me. But it was nice to take the Doomlord mask out for once and wander around and freak children out. So that was fun. My friend Richard, who is also doing Jack Sparrow, Richard Thompson from Bristol, he won the costume prize. He won the prize for the best cosplay there. And I'm like, if only I was there as Jack Sparrow, you'd have had some competition. So that was fun. Right, what we got next here? Two more. On the 28th, I bought a new phone. It looks immaculate. It came in a box. It had all the stuff. It's no scratch. It's a refurbished phone, but it's basically refurbished so well you wouldn't know it wasn't brand new. It's a Samsung Galaxy A13. Operates just like my previous one, but it's more storage. It's a bit faster. The battery's great on it. It's much bigger. So I'm very happy with that. It was time. It was definitely time for a new phone. And the last entry in November was what I called
the experiment.
I'm getting a bit hoarse. I've been talking for 2 hours. Have I? Yeah, I think I have. 2 hours, nearly 3 hours. Again, there are still 3 people watching. I'm assuming it's Dr. Mad Studio, Anthony and Vicky. Thanks for staying with me, guys. Although other people will get to see this video in coming weeks, and most of them probably won't stay to the end. It would just feel weird if I'm talking to nobody. You know what I mean? So it's good that there is actually somebody watching this. Even if you're washing your dishes or doing the ironing or whatever, at least I know there's someone sort of to talk to. Okay. So the experiment, the last day of November, all through November, I tried to stay off the takeaways and stay to the fruit and veg, which I'm not going to do this month or January because I got so much food for Christmas. I got hampers. I got 2 hampers for Christmas. I'm going to have to live on that. But I'll start eating healthier once that food's gone. But on the 1st of November, I weighed 13 stone 13, the heaviest I've ever been in my life, nearly 14 stone. I've always been around the sort of 12 and 13 mark, but 13 was the heaviest I've ever been. By the time November finished, I was 13 stone 6. So I lost about, 6 or 7 pounds? And no exercising, just staying off the junk food. Okay, that was November. December, thanks for sticking with me. We're nearly there. On the 3rd, I went to Cardiff and met with my mate Simon Wyatt, who's an artist and also working on the Boris Karloff comic that I talked about. He gave me a bunch of things. He gave me 3 of these giant pads for doing storyboards. I've also got a smaller book of film storyboards to fill in. So I'm about to start storyboarding the film, so that saved me a fortune. Up on the wall right there, he gave me an actual signed photo of Kate Beckinsale, which I'm told is genuine. So nice to have the heroes on the wall there. I've got Douglas Adams and Kenny Everett as well. Okay, then I thought I had COVID. I felt really bad again, coughing, chest tight, sneezing, lost my sense of taste and that. Did a number of tests and they were all negative. Anyway, fairly sure I had it anyway. Another celebrity death coming up. I'm sure I've missed a couple. Oh my goodness, where have they gone? I had the photo and told me it's disappeared. I'm just going to have to check my... I don't have a photo. It was Kirstie Alley. Everyone remembers Kirstie Alley from Cheers, and she was also in the first Star Trek motion picture as Lieutenant Saavik, a Vulcan. And, she was a comedian and a singer and everything else. So, a lot of people were surprised that when she went, and I'm gutted that I must have deleted the photo by accident when I was deleting people I've already covered. Unfortunately, so we don't have a picture of Kirstie Alley. On the 9th of December, the Netflix show Wednesday, based on Wednesday from the Addams Family, came out. I wasn't expecting it to be any good, but I gave it a watch because Tim Burton's producing it and he directed the first 4 episodes. Really liked it. It's not really for me. I think it's more of a sort of like a CW show. It seems like a kids show kind of thing, but it's got a little bit of darkness in it. Catherine Zeta-Jones, good Welsh girl, is in it. But Jenna Ortega, who plays Wednesday, she's a huge star. If she wasn't before, she will be now. You see her popping up and everything from now on. Really fun show, Wednesday. 13th, I took delivery of 4 sheets of EVA foam. Now, EVA foam is currently this kind of stuff. I put masking tape around the edge, but it's this 10mm, very light, quite stiff foam for making costumes and stuff out of. I took delivery of 4 sheets, which probably wouldn't even fit in this room. 4 giant sheets, because I'm making something for a friend of mine who's going to need it by April, and that'll be coming up in my Tuesday videos. 14th, Marvin finally got picked up after a couple of false starts. A chap came up from Cardiff with a big car, took Marvin up to Milton Keynes, so he's gone. Also gone on the 15th of December was Henry Cavill. After being told he was going to return, as Superman, and he made the announcement, and he was very happy about it. Then DC, Warner Brothers had brought James Gunn and another chap called Peter Safran in as head of the DC universe, and they basically fired everyone. Pretty much everyone. I think Shazam might be okay. I think Peacemaker might be okay. And I think Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, might be okay. But everyone else is gone. So Henry was gutted. But Henry quickly jumped into producing a TV series for Amazon coming up in the next year or two, based on Warhammer 40,000. So he's a big gaming geek, so it'll be interesting to see what he does with that. 17th, I celebrated my birthday 3 days early, so I tried to invite as many people as I could to a local drink, and 5 people turned up. It's the worst time of the year to have a birthday because they're spent out. It's cold, it's wet, there's works dues going on, works parties, all this kind of stuff. People have other things to do in December. So I might have my birthday party in summer next year. Maybe I'll wait till like September. If we can get Bloody Students shot in September, which is my plan, I'll just have a big old rap party. That will be my birthday party. That'll be cool. Okay, 19th, Celebrity Death Time. Definitely have this picture. This is a singer, Terry Hall, chap in the middle here. The group is The Specials, obviously. Terry Hall was from Coventry, and he passed away after a short illness. He was the voice of the 80s. Specials were quite a political and quite a very prolific band, and they did a lot of political stuff. The most famous song of theirs is probably Ghost Town, which ended up on the opening of Shaun of the Dead. But then he went on to do things like The Colour Field, which was a bit more of a pop thing. He did a collaboration with Dave Stewart from Eurythmics. They did an album and a group called Vegas, which is a great album, actually, if you can find it. You'll probably find it on YouTube, actually. And he was in the Fun Boy 3 with the 2 chaps in hats behind him. And they did a couple of songs with Bananarama. So when Terry Hall went, he was in his about 65, I think. Everyone was very shocked and surprised, and again, he was a bit of a genius. Good old Terry Hall, and obviously I identify with people called Terry. What you're saying there, Vicky? If I lived near, I'd have turned up. Must try to come up to Wales sometime. Yeah, pick good weather. Yeah. Also, you say I love Terry Hall since I was 9 when I heard Ghost Town. I was roughly the same age, and Ghost Town was a scary song. It had a very sort of somber tune to it, lots of minor keys, and even the cover of the 7-inch had a skeleton playing the piano, so it was quite creepy. And the start of it with the ding ding, all this, but it is an absolute classic. And Fun Boy 3 and Bananarama. The only thing that annoys me about Bananarama is they always sung in unison. They never once had one of them singing lead vocals. It was all 3 of them at the same time, and it just reminded me of people doing karaoke where they all just stand around the mic and sing at once, like a group. So I never enjoyed that unison type singing thing. Okay, where's my script gone? All before my time, but very old school when it comes to music. Yeah, the Specials were amazing. They had one album called The Specials, which was a big seller, but I think their next album was called More Specials, and I think that was an even bigger seller in 1982. Some really interesting songs, because it wasn't all reggae ska stuff. It went into some of lounge music. There was some interesting stuff there. It was quite, political. They were a bit like Frankie Goes to Hollywood, but without the disco beat. It was more sort of laid back sort of stuff. Anyway, we're in December, aren't we? We're nearly at the end of December. 20th of December, the day after Terry Hall died. It was my birthday, 53. Yikes. But as I always say, still got hair, still got teeth. 53. Both my older and my younger brother are practically bald. I'm quite chuffed that I've still got a bit of hair. I'm not doing too badly at 53. My entire 40s were full up with depression. Nearly took me out. But I'm happy to say I'm still here. Crawled out the other end. Feeling a lot more positive about life. Not always sweetness and light, but, not always, singing zippity-doo-dah. But generally not suicidal, which is always a good thing to be, isn't it? What have we got next? After my birthday, you were in York. Oh, I got a friend in York. I think I don't think I've ever been up to York actually. Right. Sorry, my script is all over the place. Another celebrity death coming. This was a recent one, obviously, because we're talking the 23rd, which was 4 days ago, and that is Maxi Jazz, vocalist for Faithless. I Can't Get No Sleep. That was a big hit for them. Obviously, he's done more than that with Faithless, but. Yeah, he had a good innings. He was always painfully thin, and he looked like he was not long for this world, because he was so skeletal. But that was part of his charm, I think. He was more of a kind of rap vocalist than a singer. But obviously, a lot of people are going to miss him. That's Maxi Jazz from Faithless, who went. What have we got here? There's only one more death left. There's a lot of death in this one. 25th of December, I did a Christmas live here, as Dr. Mad Studio in the chat will tell you. I finally managed to work out my streaming software with his help, and I did a live video for an hour or so, and I gave the very few people who were watching a 10-minute preview of Offworld. Obviously, I can't leave that up, so that's gone. Maybe I'll do another one in the new year. But keep it between you and me. Okay. 26th Boxing Day. That was yesterday. Marvin, as I think I've just gone and deleted the photo, actually. But, yeah, Marvin was assembled in the museum at Milton Keynes. What's Vicky saying here? I was watching Match of the Day last night, and the Crystal Palace supporters did a tribute to Maxi from Faithless. Oh, right, okay, cool. Yeah, I know they did one for Terry Hall as well in some Coventry, I think it was, in the football ground, because he was one of Coventry's exports. I've just noticed I've got a couple of pictures here of celebrity deaths, but for some reason I haven't listed them, or I've missed them out. Let's have a quick look. Oh, February the 7th. We'll go back to February the 7th. I must have jumped straight past him. Yeah, because I did Ivan Reitman, who died on the 12th. But on the 7th, film director and special effects artist Doug Trumbull. He worked on Star Wars, and he worked on one of my favourite films, Silent Running. He directed Silent Running. Yeah, so he was a massively influential filmmaker and effects artist, etc., and director. For helped shape special effects. as we know them today. So that was Doug Trumbull, who died back in February. I've got another one here. I just need to check my script and see if I can find the chap. Dr. Master, what happened to your Making the Cyberons YouTube video? Basically, I got approached by someone who was working with BBV saying, can we use the video in our upcoming DVD? And I said, no. And then I got contacted by the boss of BBV, who you know very well, who asked me again, can I use it? I'll credit you. And I'm like, no. Because the whole experience was not a great one. I ended up out of pocket, etc., and things went wrong, as you can imagine. And I had put a lot of work into that video, and I'd be damned if someone's going to just take it and go, hey, look how great these are. You know, I know I'm in the video, but there's nothing in it for me. I didn't feel I was properly remunerated for my work on Cyberon. And not treated particularly fairly, so I'm not going to hand over a video I've done for their profit. So I've disabled it for now. I think the video has come out now, the Cyberon video, but I need to check for sure before I re-upload it. But you know what's going to happen? I'll put it public again, and someone's going to rip a copy of it and re-release it or something. You know, it's not a great situation to be in, but what can you do? Maybe I'll re-edit it and put a watermark across it, or saying, if you see this anywhere else other than YouTube, it's been stolen. Okay, so yeah, I've got a yes. Wow, I mentioned Ncuti Gatwa being cast as Doctor Who, and also on the 8th of May, we lost Fred Ward. Who's been in loads of things, but mostly people will know him from the Tremors movies. He's one of the heroes along with Kevin Bacon. So Fred Ward, again, you will be missed. I think that may be... Oh no, I've got another big one here. This has got to be the last one. Let me just quickly... Where's this chap go? 20th of November. How did I miss this one? See, I'm not paying attention to my script. 20th of November, Jason David Frank, obviously known for the Power Rangers TV show, etc., martial artist, etc. A lot of the younger generation who were more into the Power Rangers were gutted by this one. He was... I think he took his own life, to be honest. I think that was right. And he was obviously fighting with issues like all of us. And it finally got the better of him. He was a very positive person most of the time, from what I heard, and he was very keen. But obviously it got the better of him. And much like I was gutted when we lost, say, any of the other people I've mentioned, for the younger generation and the convention goers, when Jason David Frank died, I say a lot of people were not not too happy. I mean, very upset by it. I think that may be all the... there's one more. There's definitely one more. Let's have a look. One more. Who else have we got? Yeah, I missed this one. 14th of July. Not someone I knew very well. Ivana Trump, obviously ex-wife of Donald Trump. She was very, very good looking in the 80s. Big hair, big blonde, etc. Let's have a look. Dr. Mad Studios says, really sad about his death. I remember the days when my mum took me to Mothercare. I'd rush to the toy section where they held Power Rangers figures. Yeah, my kids went through a lot of Power Rangers figures. And the green was the coolest one, so that was Jason's doing, I think. But yeah, Ivana Trump went, good-looking bird back in the day. I do not like Donald Trump at all. Let's say it. Surprised he can get any woman, let alone when he met her, she was a bit of a stunner. But the less said, the better, I think. That was Ivana Trump. Now, we don't have any more pictures. I've got a funny picture to show you from the start of 2022. It's the diary I bought for 2021 in the bin. I bought this nice diary thinking I'm going to fill it in with all my hopes and dreams. And 2021, I did almost nothing, and it was just full of just depression and crap that didn't work. And I was obviously, as you probably know, I was working on another idea for a film called Wow, Way Out West, which I'm not working on now. I still think it's one of the best things I've written, but I've handed that over to Danny because I wasn't in the right frame of mind to work on it, and as a result, I spent most of 2021 fumbling around, just wondering what I'm going to do with myself, So that's why 2021's diary was almost completely empty and thrown in the bin. So, a little bit more on December. Yes, 26th, which was yesterday, we lost... Where's the photo? Yeah, we lost actor Stephen Greif. I used to think it was Grief, because it's spelt like grief, but it's Stephen Greif. He was famous for playing two characters. In the 70s, he played a sort of gangster character called Harry Fenning in Robert Lindsay's sitcom Citizen Smith, and he was quite terrifying in that, even though it was a sitcom very much like Only Fools and Horses. He played the villain of the piece. And also, around the time, 70s, early 80s, he played a character in Blake 7 called Space Commander Travis, who was a very cold, calculating killer with an eye patch. And I would like to have met him. I thought I would have at some point, but very unexpectedly, Stephen died yesterday. So, another one of my sci-fi heroes no longer with us. So, and the last entry in December is the 27th, which is today. It's Tuesday. Terry on Tuesday, as it were. It's been 3 hours. I'm sorry, guys and gals. I know this has been a bit of a... I don't want to say it's an ego trip, but it's how my year has turned out. So I can't discuss someone else's year. It's all about my year, unfortunately. You remember Citizen Smith, I thought it was great. Yeah. I wonder who wrote Citizen Smith without looking it up, because it did feel like John Sullivan. It did feel like Only Fools and Horses, didn't it? Or Porridge, that kind of sitcom era classic. So the 27th is today, Tuesday. This is the longest video I've ever done. Maybe I won't do an entire year, or I'll pick out 2 or 3 things per month for next year. I think I'll probably spend most of next year's end of the year summary talking about what happened with bloody students. But that's the 27th. That's the whole year summed up. I've got a little bit of housework to do, housekeeping to mention at the end. I'm not going to keep you much longer because it's 8 o'clock already. When did I start? 5. Oh my goodness. Okay. So what's coming forward in 2023? Well, there's a new Doctor Who, and there's plenty of new films coming up, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, etc., and TV shows. Looking forward to that. I've got a build to do. Tommy Essen was the winner of my raffle for me to build something, and I've got to build a red horned helmet from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy TV series. So we're going to get into that, and I'll cover that on Tuesday videos. Hopefully in 2023 will be the final. Off you go to Offworld, over to the States, do your best with it. None of us are expecting a penny in profit. The distributors have to spend money on it to market it and get it out there and try and sell it, and even then they've got to earn all that money back before we get any. And we know it's a low budget film. A very low budget film. It's like 10 grand I think tops. We don't expect it to make any money, but if it makes 5p, that means 5 of the cast get 1 pence each. I've never been paid for Offworld. I've never taken anything out of the budget for Offworld. I put all my savings in Offworld, I put 800 quid in, and that's all I had at the time. But we've always said the cast and the crew got paid, but the cast and admin, producers, of which I'm one, Danny and Chris are the others, will get paid if there's any profit to be made. Like I say, we're not expecting it, but it would be nice if it did sell somehow. Bloody Students, like I say, we'll do a final push with an Indiegogo campaign at some point. Hopefully raise some money so we can shoot it next year. If we can't, we'll have to move it back a year. And the problems with that is some of the actors may drop out because they won't be available. So let's hope we can raise some more money. Jack Sparrow version 3. Yeah, you didn't realise it was that. I've got most of the costume here. Do a bit more on that, and hopefully Jack Sparrow will make his appearance at some point next year. Like I say, this foam build, the Andor build for my friend Ross, by April, needs to be done before April, so you'll see that in my videos. And also, if the weather gets any better, I may finally put together my full-size police box in my back garden. The garden's a jungle at the moment. I've got to hack it all down and tidy it all up, but I've got to get all the wood outside. A lot of it's been made already. I've just got to assemble it and finish it off, stick a roof on it. So, yeah. Might have a police box at some point next year. That'd be great. And I'll be building a heck of a lot of Bloody Students sets and props, so maybe it won't get made. Who knows? Okay, resolutions. I don't do resolutions anymore. I just try and think about how would I like things to progress. Here's a picture that came up in my Instagram 7 weeks ago. The future. A movie, the rest of my life in relative peace, quiet and contentment. Yeah, so Bloody Students and, just putting everything into that. That will be fun. Yeah, I mean, Offworld, I appreciate you saying it looked promising and stuff. It isn't the most exciting film in the world, and, as a low-budget film, you can imagine it's not going to be, a space battle epic or anything like that. It is, like I say, 10 people walking in a field and arguing, but it's about a long trek, and trying to survive. So it's that. It's not completely boring. There's lots of twists and turns. So hopefully, you never know. The Americans have told us that they love British movies. They don't get enough British movies, so it might sell really well, especially in Europe, because they say it's hard to sell American movies in Europe, but to sell British movies is not too difficult. So, resolutions. After Bloody Students is made, take some time out. Whether that means just put my feet up for a couple of weeks, if I can afford to, travel, London, whatever, have a week in London or something. If I can really afford it, I'd want to spend another week in Finland, because I missed Finland. Also, in my personal life, I'm going to continue, as I have this year, to take no shit. I'm getting to the point where I haven't got time for nonsense. I don't stand for baloney, as they say in Weird Science. So I'm going to continue to cut out dead wood in my life that's holding me back. Distance myself from people who are not good for me, or not helping me or supporting me, and do what I can for the people who I do like. I'm going to stop competing with people and comparing myself to other people, because that's the thief of joy. I'm going to scale my stuff down so I'm not so busy, so I can enjoy my downtime when I'm not working. Lose a few pounds, again, so I'm not Captain Fat Sparrow. Dress better. I love this shirt. I bought this a couple of months ago. But I'm going to try and dress a bit, not so much better, not stylish or expensive, but more like not caring what I wear. Not in a scruffy way, but, when I was in the band, when I was in a rap band, I went through a phase, like 2 years, of wearing whatever I liked. And I was like, I can wear whatever I like. And it felt great. And I haven't done that for years, so I want to do that again. Have a bit more fun. Handle my money better and my tax returns. Travel, like I say, some more conventions, maybe a holiday. I'm talking a UK holiday, not abroad or anything. But if I can get somehow to Finland, by my Finnish friends helping me out with somewhere to stay or whatever. I'd love to. Finland is a very peaceful place. It just connected with me when I went there. I thought, this is my kind of country. And one day I would like to get a new PC. This one has lasted me about 10 years now. What have we got in the chat here? Dr. Mad Studios says, I'm a sucker for independent films anyway, even if it's sci-fi or horror, which is something you don't see coming out of Britain much these days. You're right. I know Neil Marshall, who did Dog Soldiers, is still churning them out. I even spoke to Neil earlier on this year. He's got a film called The Lair coming out, and he's just finished shooting another one called The Duchess. Both films starring his fiancée. The Lair looks good, so it's like The Descent. It's a kind of army-based monster film, lots of gore. And The Duchess, I think, is more of a kind of a crime snatch, lock, stock type thing. That's what I think it is. But yeah, I like this independent film thing, and it's surprising what you can do and what you manage to do when you're constricted by a tiny budget. You just start thinking more creatively. And as Steven Spielberg will tell you, when the shark wasn't working, they just had to make it more of an implied threat rather than a in-your-face threat, and it worked much better. Anyway, I do have some. I'll check that out in a sec. I'll quickly nip back to my beer list. I did this at the start. These are a list of people who I thought I want to have a beer with these people, and only the green people I really kind of had a beer with. The orange people I met up with and had a drink, in a cafe or whatever, but I didn't really get to. So all you people are on my list for next year. I'm taking no prisoners, guys. All right. So if you've been watching all the way through, or you've seen this again at the start, this beer list, there's no excuse. We need beers, people. We need to have beers. Okay. Nearly done. Special thanks to all the cast, crew, and supporters of Bloody Students. I'm talking to the choir here, so you guys obviously for sticking with me and supporting me, and even just interacting with me on social media and Instagram and stuff. It's nothing worse than shouting into an empty room. So when someone gives you a little bit of advice or tells you you're doing it the right way, or you're doing okay, keep going, that really helps. Candy Jar, they're my main employer. I've always said this, I don't earn enough from Candy Jar illustrating books for Candy Jar to keep me afloat, but there are other people and other jobs, but Candy Jar are the ones that have been with me the most. Burkbench Designs, it's Clive, who's obviously doing some monster stuff for the film, but also he gets me paid work. Dino for Hire, Chris Roberts and Tom and all the other guys in Dino for Hire, they occasionally send me work to do, so I'm very grateful for that, so thank you. Independent clients, there could be a number of different people come to me for logos, illustrations for books. People like Madam Misfit, I did a book for her either last year or the year before. Marvin followers and backers and stuff. With that, there's a lot of people who helped me make Marvin in the modelling and vac forming and fiberglassing and helping with sanding and stuff. Steve Perbrick did a heck of a lot of work on Marvin for me, sanding basically all of the legs and the feet to a really nice degree. So I feel terrible of having sold it that quickly. So thank you for that, Steve. I owe you one. And Offworld followers and backers. Again, for the last 6 years I've been apologising that the film hasn't come out. And I know everyone wants to know, when's it coming out? What's it going to look like? And I wish I could give you a date. But we are literally crawling towards the finish line. We're so close to it. And as soon as me and Danny can sort of clear our schedules and and have a concerted final push, we'll chuck it all on a hard drive, post it to the States, and then we can start arranging like backer previews and stuff like that, because we can't just stick it online, otherwise we won't have a distribution deal. But we'll make sure that if you put money into the film, you'll get to see it before anyone else. That's all we can promise, and it will hopefully happen all next year. Okay, 2 more picks to finish off and we're done. I'm at the end of my script. What have we got here? I know James Cameron had to do a lot of guerrilla filmmaking with the first Terminator. Yeah, like the finale scene at the steel plant, which he had to get done in one night. Yeah, and there's a scene in the first Terminator when Arnold walks across the street and punches the thing through. So he just him and Arnold and a camera. They just didn't have any more money left to do it. Guerrilla filmmaking, it just forces you to strip it down, say, right, never mind bells and whistles, what can we get done with what we've got? And that's the whole point about in independent filmmaking. You just you find a way to make it work. Goodness me, I'm hoarse. So I got two slides to leave you with before we go. The first slide is the great Neil Gaiman, who I met once, and he said, I hope this in this year to come you make mistakes, because if you're making mistakes, then you're making new things, trying new things, learning, living, pushing yourself, changing your world. You're doing things you've never done before, and more importantly, you're doing something. Neil Gaiman. Love Neil Gaiman. He is one of our modern day geniuses. And the last one I'll leave you with is something I saw earlier on Instagram. You have this one life. How do you want to spend it? Apologizing? Regretting? Questioning? Hating yourself? Running after people who don't see you? Be brave. Believe in yourself. Do what feels good. Take risks. You have this one life. Make yourself proud. And that, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing to show here. That is the end of my 2022 review. Thanks for sticking with me right to the end, all three of you. I hope that was mildly entertaining. I do need a cuppa after this. Vicky, you're right. And if you're watching this not live, on catch up or whatever, thanks for staying this long and watching it. And again, always appreciate the likes and subscribes and all this kind of malarkey. Lots of stuff coming up next year, obviously with Offworld going to the States, and more prop builds and set builds and film stuff and making bloody students. So keep it here, and I will leave you all go now. I'm going to have a cup of tea and maybe another Christmas dinner, because people give me dinners. So I will end this stream somehow if I can press the right button, and I will see you all hopefully next Tuesday. So as I always say, Happy New Year, by the way. Take care now. Bye bye then.